Welcome to Hartley Football Game Day, brought to you by Hutta and Price Orthodontics. I'm Bob McElligott.
Have you ever looked forward to going to any type of a doctor? Well, neither have I, but let me tell you, I do look forward to seeing Doctors Hutta and Price when I go to their practice. You know why? Well, it's as Dr. Hutta says. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And at Hutta and Price Orthodontics, you will know that they care from the very first visit. To find out the services that they provide or to set up a consultation, just go to their website at lovethatsmile.net.
The Hawks return home this week to Jack Ryan Field to take on Benedictine out of Cleveland. The Hawks come into the game with a record of 2-1 after scoring their second win in a row last week on the road at Canal Winchester. It was a game that the Hawks took a commanding 21-0 lead in the first half. By halftime, they found themselves tied at 21 points apiece, but wound up going on to win by the final score of 48-21. 4-touchdown performance by Trey Saunders of the Hawks, Richard Kenny and Bryce January also getting into the end zone, and Niall Johnson had a touchdown in that game as well for Bishop Hartley. Right now, it's time to talk about that game and about this week's game, all with the head coach of the Hawks, Brad Birchfield. Brad, it was the second straight week that your opponent suffered an injury and your defense had to make adjustments. So we talked last week when Harvest Prep had their quarterback go out of the game, and then all of a sudden you had to make the adjustment to defending a Wildcat offense. Then in Canal Winchester last Friday night, it was the top running back, Stephon Bird, who gets an ankle injury and he's out for the rest of the game. And all of a sudden, instead of having to key on just that one guy, you're looking at a lot of two-back sets. You're looking at a quarterback that's trying to throw the ball down the field and make up for the loss of one of the key players on that team. But your defense adjusted very well. How proud of you are you of the way that they have done that in the last 2 weeks when you practice this entire game plan, it goes up in smoke and you have to just adjust?
I've been real proud of them. They played really well, particularly since that first game. And we're at the point of the season now. We're getting close to mid-season where we've seen a lot of different offenses. We've seen a lot of different ways to attack us. So I think the kids can get better and feel more comfortable with playing some base fundamental schemes and adjusting to the punches that they throw. So I think that's probably going to be a story from here on out.
Well, you faced some passing quarterbacks already this year. You're going to face one again this week in C.J. Yarborough, another good one here. But to go back to that Canal Winchester game, once they got to the point where they were really trying to throw the ball to pick up some big yardage when they needed to after you got ahead of them in the second half of that game, again, that defense has adjusted. And this year, it's a little bit different for you. You've gone away from the man-to-man. You're playing more of a zone defense. What kind of a challenge has that been? How much was it through the summer and through camp to make those adjustments and get your players to kind of make a shift in mindset?
Yeah, obviously we had them all summer, and we worked a lot of, we worked as many different schemes as we could have because we just don't know what we're going to be good at doing. And right now we seem a little bit more comfortable playing zone. It looks like we have some more of those type of players. And obviously with our front, we're playing more of a 4-down with a front because that's what we have and that's what we think's best. That's our job as coaches, is to put them in a position in which they can do the best. I see a lot of coaches, they have their scheme and they're going to run what they run, and it may work for them, but I don't know as personnel changes if it always works. We've got to be responsible for putting the kids in the best position we can for them to be successful. And right now it's that. And when we have everything in, so we can kind of go man to zone to man as we want. But we've gotten a lot better playing zone here recently, but we're going to be tested this week in that area.
Well, when it comes to the line play, you've got Daniel Tucson, so that puts you head and shoulders above a lot of other teams, just having that one player. But on defense, those linebackers, they're really starting to come into their own, aren't they?
Yeah, you look at Deshaun Tucker. He's made some great plays. Sherrod Bowen's made some great plays. And these are guys that we knew that at least one of them was going to be in there. But until we got Dylan back, the other ones have had to take all the reps. And I've just been so happy with how much better and more aggressive they've gotten. And that's been a big challenge, and we've simplified so many things to let them play faster and more aggressive. And so far, it's been nice.
You mentioned Sherrod Bowens. There were so many tackles the other night against Canal Winchester that I was calling his name. He was either at the bottom of the pile or he was in on it. This is a guy that you use, like so many of your players, both ways. But defensively, do you think that's where he's grown the most right now?
Yeah, and Sherrod is such a bright young man that he analyzes everything. So with that comes great things because he's so smart, but also it takes time because he wants to get it perfect. He's very conscientious. So it just takes time for him to develop. We saw that last year and we wanted him to be, you need to be like this right away. Well, by the end of the season, he was doing what he's doing. And it was a similar thing this year as we moved him on the defensive side. So sky's the limit for him.
Now, in the game against Canal Winchester, you come out and you're dominant. You get the first 21 points in the game. It's 21-0. It looks like it could be a runaway type of a game. And the next thing you know, they get into the end zone with a big touchdown run by Bird before he gets injured. Then your offense makes a miscue, a bad pitch and a ball that rolls into the end zone. They jump on it, and all of a sudden it's 21-14. And before the end of the half, it's a 21-21 game. And it seemed to me like, especially with they get the touchdown, and then there's that fumble recovery in the end zone. Those 14 points came so quick. It was almost like in a boxing match where you get punched and you get stunned, and it takes you just a little bit of time to get your feet back underneath you. But your offense did do that. How big of a deal is that? It's only 3 games into the season, but these are situations that you're going to face down the road. You're going to face them in more important games, more important situations. What does that tell you about your team?
Oh, man, it's tremendous. We want to be punched in the mouth. We want to see adversity. We know that as the games become more important, they're going to be tight games. We told them at halftime we were in tight games every single week, and maybe they had not been. So let's just do what we do. I mean, we're not going to consistently fumble the ball in the end zone. We're not going to consistently jump off sides. These are mistakes that are individual mistakes that we're going to make in a game, but not consistently. And we're only going to get better from those. So those weren't consistent things the kids were going to do or we were going to do. So we felt like we were in good shape as long as we went out and played. But Canal Winchester has a doggone good team. I mean, they were 2-0 and just stroking dudes. So we knew they were gonna battle. That's for sure. They had a lot of confidence and a huge crowd behind them. It was a great environment for us to test ourselves.
Well, and it was the Trey Saunders show when it was all said and done. I mean, he had 4 touchdowns for you. He had 230 all-purpose yards. He's the This Week News Player of the Week for last week. He had 2 receptions for touchdowns, a rushing touchdown, and a punt return for a touchdown. We've talked about Trey so many times in the last 2 years, but here he is, senior year, needing to make an impact. And that's a pretty good statement game early in the season for him personally, isn't it?
Yeah, we challenge our seniors. They've got to have the best years. They've got to have off the chart years. And this was Trey's game where he did great, but I don't know whose game it's going to be this week. And every week it's going to be somebody different. As people try to take Trey away, that's just going to open Niall and Anthony Murphy and Richard to do big things. And then somebody's going to take them away, and then it'll come back around to somebody else. I mean, that's the essence of team, and this is team sports. Trey did a great job, and he's a great, so dependable of a young man. What's helped him quite a bit was Alex Ramacone has been great for us on defense, and that's allowed him to get breaks where he needs when he needs them on the defensive side, and so that's been good. But you can't lose sight. I mean, Peyton Underwood had 3 touchdown passes. That was awesome. Richard had a huge touchdown catch as well, and Niall had a huge game. And then Bryce is in there, and he's going for touchdowns. So there's a lot of weapons that we've got to continue to use in as many different ways as we can. I love when they talk about just one guy, whether it be Trey or Niall or Richard, because in the back pocket, we got a lot more that are ready to emerge.
Yeah, I was going to get to all those guys, okay, but you jumped the gun on that. Let's start with the last guy you mentioned, Bryce January. Here's a guy that comes in. I know you have there's some set formations where you'll bring him in from time to time, but the bulk of that work is going to go to Peyton Underwood. To have him come in and quarterback a drive and rush into the end zone, again, early in the season, and the way this game is played, you're always one snap away from needing that guy to go in. So how big is that experience for Bryce?
Oh, it's huge, and he's a great player, but we've also got to use his skills in other ways. We've got to use his skills in special teams. We got to use his skills, whether it be a receiver. We got to use his skills in the secondary. He's a great player that we've got to continue to develop and get on the field, and he's a great leader for us too. I mean, he's somebody that all the coaches and players respect. You know, I talked to him last week. I don't know what he wants to do down the road, but I'm hopeful he wants to get into coaching. I think he would be just an absolute superstar as a coach. He has whatever the it factor is, he's got the it factor.
And you mentioned, all those guys we were talking about, Peyton Underwood. You always focus on the quarterback. Now, on your team, because you have so many players and because you run the ball so well, we tend to look at those guys a lot. But for Peyton, throwing those 3 touchdown passes in the way that he did it. Quick reads, get the ball out quickly, get it to a guy that can run after the catch and all of those things. How much has he matured from that sophomore quarterback that he was that you leaned on last year to this junior version, a couple of games in this year?
And even how much he's emerged since the first game, and he played well the first game, but he just continues to get better and better. And he's a big, strong young man. His great strength though is his accuracy. He's so accurate and so strong armed that creates quite a weapon for us. I mean, he's a big dude as well.
Yeah, and that's a weapon that you always have it in your pocket, right? And defenses know it. They know that he can throw the ball. It's a matter of if he's going to throw the ball, when he's going to throw the ball. Does that help you to keep defenses more honest?
Well, we want it to. I mean, I often get questions about, what plays are we going to run and how are we going to develop it? And my answer is always the same. I don't know. It depends on what the defense does. I mean, you can't just run into walled cities. You can't just overpower the people we play. So it depends on how they're covering and who they're covering and how they're defending off tackle and inside. I mean, Canal Winchester did a great job taking away our inside A gap runs. So we had to do something different. But, the goal is to be versatile enough that makes it difficult for an opponent to defend everything.
Glad you brought that up, taking away that inside running game, because that was the difference in the game. In the second half, you were able to get to the outside. It was funny. I'm looking at Niall Johnson's numbers at halftime. He gets an 81-yard touchdown run early in the game to give you a 7-0 lead. And then at the half, I had him unofficially at 87 yards. And I was like, this is not right. But at the end of the game, he's got his normal numbers. He's 150 yards or whatever he has when it's all said and done. You were able to get him and other guys to the outside. You were able to get Trey Saunders to the outside and turn the corner a couple of times. How big was that to be able – you didn't have it in the middle. You did have it outside. How big was it to be able to get there and exploit that?
It was huge. It just enabled them. And, we got those inside runs kind of later in the game because it made them second guess themselves that I'm sure their coaches had told them, we can take this away. And here, well, what about this? And then it puts doubt in their head. I mean, that's just kind of how the game works. And you can establish some kind of doubt in what the defense is trying to take away, the better off you are. And love the versatility of the kids. I mean, obviously Chris Sawyer does the offense and he's doing a tremendous job. And we got a lot better from week 2 to week 3.
All right, now you're in week 4, and you've got Benedictine coming down from Cleveland. This is a good football team. They are a 3-0 football team. Double overtime win against Walsh Jesuit in week 1. They beat Toledo Central Catholic by 10 in week 2. They beat Cleveland Central Catholic by a bunch last week. First of all, to get this kind of a team on a schedule, we've talked a lot about your schedule here in this first month of the season. How big was it for you to get a team like this and get them to come to Columbus and play early on?
Yeah, I don't know anybody else was signing up to play them, so it might have been a necessity there. But we had, we've worked for a long time, kind of the making the sausage here. We've talked for a long time about what we're doing with our league and trying to unite with Catholic schools. And personally, that's a goal of mine. Is I would like to see our school unite with the great Catholic schools that are middle enrollment across the state of Ohio. But it's been difficult to get. Of course, it's difficult to get everybody anytime any kind of consensus on anything, but we've had several meetings and we were going to continue to, I hope. And one of them, it just kind of came in that Benedictine said, hey, we're open these weeks. And we said, we're open these weeks. And, traditionally we've played a He-Man type team week 4, whether it was Clinton Massey all the way back to Elyria Catholic when they had their great teams in the early 2010s. So we played just great. Hoban was the week 4 spot several years ago. So we played kind of a He-Man type team mid-season, see where we are, kind of measuring stick. I felt a lot better about this game when we put it on the schedule 2 years ago than when it's staring us in the face. That's for sure. They've got just a tremendous football team, very athletic, well coached, good, big, strong, physical, well tested. I mean, I'm not going to go in the locker room this week saying, hey, these guys don't know how tough this competition is. I mean, that'll be the last thing I say. These guys are used to playing really good people.
And when you say about getting a behemoth in week 4, do you like to do that as league play is on the horizon here? Do you like to get that kind of competition to, as you said, check where you are? But it's a game that even if things go badly, you get right into the league and you're going to be much better because of the experience that you went through.
I think so. I think that's the thing. I think you want to look at the kids after the game and say, listen, this is the level, because they're a bigger division than us. I mean, they're going to be in the mix for the state championship. There's no question. 3 of the first 4 teams we played will be in the mix for the state championship in their divisions, and none of them are our division. So we can feel good about this. Like, we want to be the best in our division. So I think it's like a no loss type of environment for us. It's going to be great coming down here. It's just the way it worked, them coming down here. We go up to Cleveland next year and we'll play up there. And, if it's a great competitive series, we'll obviously keep doing it and keep playing it. But they have a great team.
When you talk about the first 4 weeks of your schedule, when I look at it, I wonder, did you lose a bet? Did you have to make that first 4 weeks? I mean, as you've alluded to, there are not many high school coaches that would have said, hey, let's do this for the first month of the season.
Yeah, this is Benedictine's only trip to Columbus. That's duly noted. No one else is playing them, but I think it's just how it works out. I mean, I think nobody's going to play us either. We're limited people that are signing up to play the Hawks, and I get it and I understand. It's just kind of where it is at the moment. We're excited to play them. It's a marquee game, and it's across the state. Everybody across the state. When you see, the Hawks and the Bengals, I mean, you got 11 state titles between the 2 teams and a ton of history and tradition. And these games probably should be played. And it's exciting with so many teams with the expanded playoffs. I like to think that these are the games that our people that love our schools should benefit, and people that love Ohio high school football should benefit. Now, whoever loses the game, they'll have a lot of criticism. Somebody should have run it or thrown it or all that kind of stuff. And I'll send them the phone numbers they can play them. We can see what they got, but it's going to be an exciting environment. And it's a great game, and it'll be fun.
When you break down what they do, CJ Yarborough, who I mentioned earlier, he is their quarterback. He runs the ship. There's no question about that. Top tier quarterback. What do you do to try to contain him this week?
We just got to do our stuff. I mean, there's no secret game plan. We've got to do our stuff. We've been getting better, and we were a vastly different team than we were 3 weeks ago, but we've got to continue to get better. This is a great ball club that we're facing, and his weapons on the outside are just dynamic. I mean, these receivers are really, really good, and it's going to be a tremendous challenge for us. So we're excited to see if we can, how we can hold up.
Is the key going to be to try to get to him before he can utilize those weapons, pressure from that defensive line and linebackers?
I think we need to rush him. There's no question, but he gets the ball out of his hands so quickly. I think that could be dangerous as well, because he's getting the ball out so quick. I mean, he's catching and looking and throwing, and these guys are so athletic enough to make plays that it creates efficiency. And if you rush all those guys at him, he just, the ball's already gone.
When you look at your offensive side of the ball, running is what you do. When you look at the way you match up on the line, do you feel that you're going to be able to do that part of the game, get done what you want to get done there?
No one looks at Benedictine and says, oh, we're going to do this, that, this, that, this. Nobody's ever saying that. But I like us and how much better we're getting. I don't know how we match up, because nobody's really done. Nobody has run. I mean, we're so unique offensively. Nobody sees that. So I think that's a unique thing. But they're so big and strong on the line that we've got to have a great night. And we've got to have a great week.
All right, Brad. Thank you very much, and best of luck here this week. Today's game is being brought to you by the Ohio Media School. Find out how you can become involved in radio and TV production at beonair.com/Columbus. By the Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation, who have established and run the Porter Athletic League. By Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Find them on the web at lovethatsmile.net. And by Brick League Apparel. Check out their amazing styles at wearebrick.com.
Can you see yourself working on TV, radio, or social media? As media professionals, we make our voice heard. Call the Ohio Media School and be a part of something bigger than you and me. You'll train and get the skills you need to work in TV, radio, social media, film, and much more.
I graduated and now am working as a director of marketing at a local radio station. My future is set.
Call the Ohio Media School now and be a part of something bigger. 614-723-9675. 614-723-9675.
If you've ever dreamed of a career in the sports production industry, your dream could come true. The Ohio Media School is enrolling
enrolling their next sports emphasis class soon. You'll learn about all the different aspects of what goes into the broadcast that you watch or listen to. Go from behind the scenes to the front of the camera. You'll also get hands-on opportunities to practice your skills through the Score On Air network. Call the Ohio Media School at 614-655-5250 or visit beonair.com/Columbus.
Here at Ohio Athletic Performance, we have truly aligned our passions with our path and our purpose for why we are here. The vision for our company is to be able to influence and impact other people so they have the ability to reach the heights of their genetic potential, whatever that is. We train a wide demographic of individuals, all the way from young athletes to full-grown adults. We choose the things that we program very intentionally. And beyond the physical preparation that we offer people, for us it really is about the development of the holistic person, to be able to identify the things that they need, maybe unbeknownst to themselves, and then being able to bridge the gap for whatever it is that they want in their life, or what they aspire to have, or where they say that they want to go. So for us, we have aligned our passions with our purpose, and we know that we're on the proper path. And now what we're trying to do is facilitate that opportunity for everybody else to do the same.
Physical preparation incredibly serious here at Ohio Athletic Performance. It's something that we pride ourselves on, whether it be athletes or adult clients. It's something that we want to make sure we're providing to the best of our ability. We want to make sure it's orthopedically safe. If they need rehabilitation, that's something that we can provide for them. And as Coach Trapp said, we're always intentional with everything we do, and we want to take the right steps to give that person exactly what they need.
From the adult perspective, the three things we see: a sense of community, improved health, and a great outlet.
We are intensely passionate about what it is that we do and the service that we offer, and we would love for you to come join our community.
Hi, this is Bob McElligott for Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Have you ever looked forward to going to any type of a doctor? Well, neither have I, but let me tell you, I do look forward to seeing Doctors Hutta and Price when I go to their practice. You know why? Well, it's as Dr. Hutta says. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And at Hutta and Price Orthodontics, you will know that they care from the very first visit. To find out the services that they provide or to set up a consultation, just go to their website at lovethatsmile.net.
Here at Jack Ryan Field at Bishop Hartley, the Hawks getting set to go here in this fourth week of the high school football season as they take on the Bengals of Benedictine, who have made the trip down here from Cleveland. I'm Bob McElligott, joined this week by Randall Sampson, making his broadcast debut. It is great to have you here. I know you're excited about it. You have been all week. What's it like to actually be here?
Oh, I tell you, the weather's great. How about that, huh?
Absolutely. And, you're a guy that's got plenty of ties to this program from the past, and we're going to talk more about that and much more when we return right after this.
Today's game is being brought to you by the Ohio Media School. Find out how you can become involved in radio and TV production at beonair.com/Columbus. By the Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation, who have established and run the Porter Athletic League. By Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Find them on the web at lovethatsmile.net. And by Brick League Apparel. Check out their amazing styles at wearebrick.com.
Can you see yourself working on TV, radio, or social media? As media professionals, we make our voice heard. Call the Ohio Media School and be a part of something bigger than you and me. You'll train and get the skills you need to work in TV, radio, social media, film, and much more.
I graduated and now am working as a director of marketing at a local radio station. My future is set.
Call the Ohio Media School now and be a part of something bigger. 614-723-9675. 614-723-9675.
If you've ever dreamed of a career in the sports production industry, your dream could come true. The Ohio Media School is enrolling their next sports emphasis class soon. You'll learn about all the different aspects of what goes into the broadcast that you watch or listen to. Go from behind the scenes to the front of the camera. You'll also get hands-on opportunities to practice your skills through the Score On Air network. Call the Ohio Media School at 614-655-5250 or visit beonair.com/Columbus. Hi, this is Bob McElligott for Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Have you ever looked forward to going to any type of a doctor? Well, neither have I, but let me tell you, I do look forward to seeing Doctors Hutta and Price when I go to their practice. You know why? Well, it's as Dr. Hutta says. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And at Hutta and Price Orthodontics, you will know that they care from the very first visit. To find out the services that they provide or to set up a consultation, just go to their website at lovethatsmile.net.
Here at Bishop Hartley, the Hawks and the Bengals will be making their way to the field here in just a few moments. Let's talk about these two teams and what they've done so far this year. Randall, Benedictine comes into this game with a 3-0 record. They had a convincing win last week over Cleveland Central Catholic. You've got the Hawks who come into this game with a record of 2-1 after losing in a shootout in Youngstown to Ursuline in week 1. They've come back with back-to-back victories 2 weeks ago right here on this field. They got a big win over Harvest Prep last week. They went to Canal Winchester, had the game in hand, let it get back the other way, and then eventually won it 48-21. So they're coming off a good week into a week against a very good team in Benedictine.
Yeah, and that's been the issue. So the last couple of years, Central Ohio football has really tried to take the reign from that Northeastern football tough guys up there, right? And so now the Cleveland folks up and around that area, they're saying, no, we are still king. So that Northeast component of the state has a different brand of football, bunch of tough kids, and they also spread it out now, too. So you're going to see two totally different games from the same region. Kids that spread it out the first week, and this week it looks like it's going to be a tough contest.
Tough contest indeed as the Hawks make their way onto the field in front of the home crowd at Jack Ryan Field. Let's talk about Benedictine and their 3-0 record. I told you they had a big win last week. 48-3 was the final in that one. But their first game against Walsh Jesuit, that was a battle. That was a double overtime victory for them. They beat Toledo Central Catholic in the second week by 10 points, 24-14. So, they've had to work for their at least 2 of their 3 victories so far.
Yeah, and that's the key. When you get into those tough battles, you always get kids nicked up. So hopefully they don't have anybody nicked up on the other side, and it's going to be a really good battle here. And Hartley's been fortunate to stay injury-free so far. And I know we've had some tough calls too. So at this point of the season, when you get into that mid-level, you start to get that identity as to who you are as a team. And when injuries start to come in play, it really shows who you are. So with both of them as elite teams out here battling, hopefully we'll stay injury-free and have a great game.
All right, let's take a look at some of the keys to the game for Benedictine tonight. They've got to stop Niles' flow. Niall Johnson of the Hawks, 6 touchdowns last week, another week where he comes up with over 150 yards rushing. They've also got to protect the flat. Last week, what the Hawks were really good at doing was getting out into the flat, getting to the outside. That's where they got a lot of their yards in the second half, and also air it out. This team loves to throw the football.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think we have enough speed on the other side to compete with the air-it-out component. But I think once Hartley gets on that corner, it's game time.
Yeah, and speaking of that, the keys to the game for the Hartley Hawks, run the football. That's what it always is, the key to success for Hartley. Run the football, win the turnover battle here as well, and, of course, defend the pass. We were just talking about that. Now, it's going to be Benedictine that gets the opportunity to get the ball to start things off. Alex Gabriel is going to kick it away from the 40-yard line.
And that's what Hartley does. We run the ball, and like Chuck Wooden would say, my slobber knockers against your slobber knockers, and let's see what happens.
And those slobber knockers will start on the kickoff team right now, and we'll see. Although Alex Gabriel, he's pretty good at kicking that ball through the end zone with no touchbacks, or with no return, rather, and getting a touchback. So let's see what he can get done here. just about set to get underway on a picture-perfect fall evening here at Bishop Hartley High School. Gabriel on the approach, and this one is deep, but it's not going to get into the end zone. It's taken by Marvin Conkle, and he trips and falls down at the 10-yard line, and that's where the Bengals of Benedictine will start, first down and 10.
Yeah, and the turf monster got him on that one. He was ready to make a cut, but Hartley's kickoff team really busted down the seam on that and did a good job with the coverage.
So now here comes that Hawks defense onto the field. Brad Birchfield, when we heard from him during the pregame show here tonight, talking about his linebackers. He's been very pleased with what his linebacking core has been able to do. Deontay Hubbard is one of the guys that really, in these first 3 games of the season, has jumped out at that position.
Well, when you have big guys up front that can just suck up space, and they create a lot of room for those linebackers to run downhill and meet you in the hole with some bad intentions. So we're it's going to be excited to see that.
Well, one of those big guys, the big guys, Daniel Tucson, on this defensive line.
Oh, he sucks up space.
Yes, he does indeed. So here we go, first down and 10. Benedictine to throw, and a quick out off the hands of the intended receiver, Conkle. And that is incomplete. C.J. Yarborough, the senior quarterback, 6 foot, 175 pounds. And this is the book on him. He likes to get the football. He likes to get it out of his hands very quickly.
Yeah, the ball floated on him there a little bit on a quick hitch on the other side. And Hartley pressed real hard on that, so it causes the quarterback to really float that ball once you see that corner press.
Conkle, by the way, that intended receiver, he's 6 foot tall, and they're going to try to work the corners on this Hawks defense if they can. Yarborough takes the ball and he hands it off, and they try to run it up the middle. And there's a little bit of running room there for Dwayne Jackson, junior running back. He's 5'10", 195 pounds, and he picks up just about 5 yards there.
And we saw that defensive line slashing through there. Tucson is causing all kinds of problems in there. His fast twitch muscles is probably some of the best in the state. So containing that Wildcat's going to be something for them to really take a look at there.
Set up a 4-receiver set here. Yarborough dropping back.
Now those corners are playing back a little bit, so we'll see how they press them.
And he will throw to the near sideline. That ball is caught, and that is going to be good for a first down. Trey Saunders with the tackle as Brandon Boyd Jr. makes his first catch of the day, and the chains will move.
And that was an easy pitch and catch. The wide receiver did a great job running that post and sitting in the hole on that zone. So Hartley's going to have to press a little bit more once our receiver breaks, but the receiver did a good job. Great timing by the quarterback.
And there you see that timing again. The quick release and a perfect strike as Saunders hangs on to the ankle to get the tackle. First down and 10 as that ball is out to the 25-yard line. Yarborough again hands it off, looking for running room on the right side and finding some, actually making some room out to about the 30-yard line for Dwayne Jackson.
And I'll tell you, that guard did a really great job coming around. That left guard came out and did a good job kicking out. So we just got to squeeze down a little bit more on that on defense, but he did a good job digging him out.
Picked up 5 on the play, second down and 5. Yarborough managing the offense in this very first drive, and there's going to be movement, and offsides will be called against the Hawks. Andrew McFeeters jumped a little early.
Well, you know, once the big fella gets moving, it's hard to pull all of that back. You start leaning and leaning, and you can't get out of that momentum, and he just jumped off sides there.
That'll bring the ball up to the 35-yard line, and that will make it a first down and 10. Yarborough goes under center this time. He'll bring a man in motion. Hands it off, bouncing to the left side for not much. No gain, maybe a gain of 1 for Dwayne Jackson this time.
Well, it looks like they try to run that inside trap, and the defensive line really squeezed down on that this time. Didn't get kicked out. So it's going to be a battle right there. My 4 against your 5, and let's see who's the last man standing.
And again, running away from Tucson when they go to that side. But again, McFeeter's a big guy over there. He's had a great start to this season. And Anthony Murphy, one of those linebackers, stepping up and helping out on that tackle. Second down and 10. Yarborough will throw to the near side. That is caught by Boyd. And up the near sideline he comes. He's got a first down as he crosses the 50-yard line to the 49 of the Hawks.
And what we find with that play is you get the quarterback really slows down that downhill run by those linebackers. So just a quick little pass out. It's almost like a little bubble pass. Bubble run is what they call it. And let the receiver make a move. And then he gets up the field. Good blocking down the field. And an open field tackle to help save that.
1st and 10 as the Bengals are on the move here. They started this drive back at their own 10-yard line. Yarborough hands it off, and there's running room on the left side this time, and turning the corner, getting inside the 40 and down to about the 35-yard line for Benedictine. Javion Baker this time, another junior running back.
And they did a good job jump cutting on that one. The ball was going to go to the right, and he jump cut to the left. He saw a big hole. The blocker downfield at the wide receiver number 3 did a good job sealing the end.
Another first down. And they'll hand it off to him again, trying to turn that corner on the right side. He does, and he's got a first down as he is all the way to the 20-yard line. So Baker, a couple of runs, couple of big runs, using his speed to turn the corner.
Yeah, the big guys on the edge really set that edge nice, knocked down a couple guys over there, and I think there was a crackback by the wide receiver that really set that edge, and they just bit it and kept going.
First down and 10 from the 20-yard line now. Well, take that back. There was an illegal substitution against Hartley. That penalty was declined, so they had moved the chains back to the original line of scrimmage. They've got to move those chains again, get that set up at the 20-yard line, and that's exactly what they do on the far sideline.
Well, this tempo has been really fast and blazing as you try to substitute in there.
Handoff, and this time the Hawks are ready for it. That's going to be a half-yard loss as Baker wasn't able to find any running room.
Yeah, the key to that is the level of penetration that you're getting from your defensive line on there. So you got Tucson on that side just purging through that line, and the running back has to make a decision. That's a business move all day long. When you see a big dude like that coming at you with saliva coming out of his mouth ready to eat something, right? So you got to make a business decision. What am I going to do?
Donovan Davis was also in on that. He's another big body, 6'1", 275 sophomore playing on that line. And this time they fake the handoff. Yarborough rolling right. He wants to throw. Looks to the end zone, and that one is going to be caught, or did that short hop in there? It short hopped in. No catch. And I thought that was the case, but the official closest to it was looking for help.
Yeah, that's a tough situation when you're that quarterback scrambling right, and you have to throw across your body, so your shoulders have to turn over, and that's what forces the ball down to hit the ground and bounce up. So let's take a look here on the play action. So they did a good job selling it. You see his shoulders turn to throw it over his left shoulder, and it bounces off the ground.
Yeah, Marvin Conkle tried to sell that, but the officials were not buying.
Hey, receivers always say, hey, I catch every ball. I caught it.
3rd down 11. Big play here for the Hartley defense early in this game. Yarborough is going to swing it out to the running back, and it's off the hands of Javion Baker. Incomplete. Well, that's a simple play. They just wanted to get him out there and give him a lot of room to turn on the Jets, but he didn't catch a football.
They want to put their athletes out in space, and so getting them matched up against the linebacker that's pretty elite linebacker, looking at a kid that's looking at SEC schools out there and want to see what kind of movement that big linebacker has against their speed. So I think that's a good call.
So very quickly, Benedictine, who had one set of players on the field, now they shift and they bring some new players on the field because they are going to attempt the field goal. Going to place the ball at about the 27-yard line for a 37-yard attempt. Christian Cora, senior kicker. And that kick is up, and that kick is well wide to the right, no good.
I'll tell you, that was a big stance by that defense to hold like that. It was a blistering pace coming out at them, and they were able to buckle down there at the end.
Well, that's a great point, the pace, and that is something that you could try to prepare for all week, but until you actually get in the game and you have another team doing it to you, that's where you make your adjustments, right?
And it doesn't even matter if it's 20 degrees cooler. It's just 20 degrees cooler. It's nice fall, crisp weather, so you're thinking, hey, we can go out there and run with this pace. But until you're out there doing it, it's a whole different thing.
So now we'll see what the Hawks offense is able to do. This is an offense that is coming off a great week. They put up 48 points at Canal Winchester last week. And Trey Saunders is coming off his best performance of the young season so far. Deontay Hubbard is lined up as the tailback here, with Terod Bowens as the fullback. They give it to Deontay, and there's not a lot of room there for him on the left side. He's only going to pick up about a yard.
And I tell you what, that linebacker from Benedictine came screaming downhill, and he ripped right through there and made a heck of a stop.
Actually, they might give him a little bit more than one. Looks like they may have given him two there. But this is where the Hawks are going to see how their offensive line matches up against the defensive line of Benedictine. Send a man in motion. That's Niall Johnson. Pitch it to him. He had to slow down to get that. Now he's trying to turn the corner and won't be able to do it. And the guy that came up there and met him immediately was Mike Hatcher. He's a senior defensive back. He read that play. As soon as Niall had to slow down a little bit, that gave him his opening to stay with him.
Yeah, and people don't realize just that slight little step gives the defense an edge. So I think this speed, trying to get around that corner, is what we need to get to. Just the timing needs to happen.
You saw the numbers for Johnson on the season. 6 touchdowns, leads the team in the touchdown category. And it's not just about that. It's about picking up the yards that he does each and every week. Big third down and long coming up here for the Hawks. And there's a flag on the play. And again, not much of a gain here. It's an illegal shift against the offense. So, of course, Benedictine will decline that penalty. It was no gain on the play. That'll bring up 4th down and 7, and the Hawks will have to punt it away.
Yeah, and both teams are just starting to feel it out down there in that pit where you just have a bunch of guys that are just gnarly in there, and they're getting after it, and they're trying to feel each other out, feel out who's going to move who, and how long you can do this thing.
Peyton Underwood is the punter, and he gets it away. And this kick will land at the 49, and takes a Benedictine hop, and so Hartley just downs it at the 48-yard line. 5:45 to go here in the opening quarter, and the Bengals are going to get the ball for the second time. Now disappointing for the Hartley offense there to go 3 and out, no doubt about that, but it was the defense that came up with a big stand the first time. They're going to be asked to do that again here.
Yeah, and this is going to be a field position ball control game. You can feel it already. Everybody's trying to feel each other out there. And now the Hawks have their work cut out for them as they're on the other side of the 50 and having to defend.
Ball is at the 46. Deshaun Tucker there, number 2 for the Hawks. Coming off a good game last week at Canal Winchester. Coach Brad Birchfield talking about the improved play that he's seen from Deshaun in these first couple of games of the season. Yarbrough to throw, and that one almost picked off. Deontay Hubbard had it on the fingertips, couldn't quite pull it in.
Deontay was thinking, 6, I'm gone. I'm going to the house. I'm going to Deon it all the way in. And it looks like it was a misread by the quarterback and the receiver. It looks like the receiver wanted to do it out, but it kept going because he saw the corner press a little bit.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. A handoff and through the right side for big yardage on the carry. Julius Robinson suplexed to the turf by Trey Saunders at the end of the play, but that is close to a 1st down.
And that Benedictine line is putting hat on hat, body on body, and getting movement up front, staying low, keeping their positions, and getting to that next level with the linebackers, which Hartley's not used to, is getting to that next level with linebackers because their linebackers are pretty good with running downfield.
It'll be 3rd down and 1. Yarbrough is going to take it himself, and he easily has the 1st down. The pile surges ahead for a gain of about 4. Again, they like to do things quick. They get to the line. They don't waste a lot of time. When they get it in the quarterback's hands, he doesn't hold on to it very long. He almost got that defense to jump off sides, and that was a group effort too. Everybody was on the move, biting on the hard count.
That quarterback has a hard bark.
Yarbrough Looks to the right, comes back to the left, and he's got a man wide open into the end zone. Marvin Conkle for the touchdown. Great job by Conkle at the end to control his body and be able to lean inside that pylon. But for Yarborough, all he had to do was hit the wide open man because nobody was around Marvin Conkle.
Yeah, I think they ran a scissors route on that one where we went to a quick set. The quarterback found his guy, and this was probably like the first or second play where they actually went vertical. So they hit you in the flats, and then they go vertical with you.
So Benedictine on the board first here, and coming on is Christian Cora to attempt the extra point. He missed a field goal on that first offensive drive. And this time he puts it up and through. So 7-0. The Bengals, the Benedictine, have the lead over the Hawks with 4:29 remaining here in the opening quarter. Again, good drive. You talked about it. The challenge was for the defense, you're already on your side of the field, and Benedictine wasted no time with that quick offense and getting the ball right down the field.
Absolutely, and then we're so used to them going out to the flats with the little bubble screen, and they went vertical on us, and the wide receiver did a good job catching the ball at the highest point as well and keeping his feet in bounds. That's almost a pro move. He had both feet in and then leaned over to get to the goal line, so that was a heck of an athletic move right there. But I think it was the route setup that they had. The wide receiver on the side crossed over on a deep end on a dig and pulled that corner over. And then the other receiver just came around the edge and went vertical.
And the most disappointing thing of the whole deal for the Hawks is Deontay Hubbard was so close to picking off the very first pass of that drive. Doesn't happen, and then they come back and get a touchdown. And again, that's what good teams do. You give them another opportunity. Sometimes they make you pay for it.
Yeah, you got to close the door. You got to close the door. So whenever you get the opportunity, you got to make them pay for it. So now we've got a lot of football left. Now we've got to see if it's going to be redemption time. Can the Hawks answer?
Yes. And they've got Trey Saunders and Richard Kenny deep to receive this kick from Christian Cora. And they angle it towards Saunders. He'll let it go into the end zone. That's easily a touchback. And Bishop Hartley will come out and start from the 20-yard line, first down and 10.
Now I'll be interested to see if Hartley comes out getting back on schedule, because they were off schedule for the last couple drives there, where you're getting 2-3 yards when they're used to ripping off 4 or 5 yards at a stint. So we want to see them get back on schedule, and the defense is doing a great job sucking up a lot of room on the inside.
Yeah, interesting, too, that the way they started that first drive, Deontay Hubbard was in the backfield as a tailback. They gave him the ball. Johnson was on the field, but they had him lined up on the wing, and then they pitched it to him. So kind of going away from what they normally do. Here's what they normally do. The inside handoff to Niall Johnson, and he is not going to get much here, just about a yard, and somebody lost their helmet on that play. That was McFeeters.
And I called it from the beginning. Your big guy versus my big guy, and we're going to see what happens. And there are helmets flying, snots rolling, water's coming out of kids' ears and mouths. This is the kind of football that you want to see right here.
Now McFeeters, because he lost his helmet, has to come off the field for that play. So that's one of their main offensive linemen that is not available for this one. Underwood is going to throw. Left side, and Trey Saunders hadn't broken for that ball yet as it falls incomplete. Last week, those two hooked up 2 times for a touchdown pass, part of the 4 touchdown performance by Trey Saunders overall. There's what he did last week. 4 carries, 4 catches, 142 total yards. And he had the 3 touchdowns. That's not counting the punt return for the touchdown. So big week for him, but that time they just weren't on the same page.
Yeah, they just wanted to get a quick out and get that speed and space. Once you get speed and space, pick up 6-8 yards. Soften up that defense a little bit.
3 receivers set to the right this time for Underwood. Sends Saunders in motion. They'll pitch it to him, and he wants to turn that corner. And Trey gets brought down from behind at the 25-yard line. He had every intention of getting to the first down marker, and all of a sudden it was gone.
And that was close to a horse collar.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a couple inches away from getting that horse collar, and I think he got him right on the shoulder pad, and that's what the official saw.
That's one from where we are, and we're on the opposite side of the field from that. If they call that, if a flag flies on that, it doesn't surprise me at all, because I'm not standing right on top of it. The officials were, and as you said, they saw them as getting the shoulder pad. So it's another 3 and out for the Hawks. And on 4th and 5, they're going to have to kick it away. Underwood does just that. Good punt this time. Does check up again. And it will be at midfield.
Our special teams had a little mental lapse there. Even though it's 2 yards, you gotta down that ball. Every yard in this game counts. So we could have downed it at the 47, but now we're closer to the 50. So now we're looking at half the field again, and the defense has to hold.
Yes, indeed. And expect the Bengals to continue to do what they've done. Pace. Play with pace on offense. Four receivers set, and they got Tucson to jump. So that's 5 free yards.
And that quarterback knows how to bark, because you can see his head shaking when he's barking out there, and he'll break you down mentally. That's what we call 5 the easy way. Now you just got to get a couple yards and keep the chains moving. You're ahead of schedule.
All right, continue to look to the sideline, make sure they got the right play. Yarborough ready to go from under center. Hand it off and right up the middle, just short of the first down marker. Carrying that ball once again is Dwayne Jackson. Sherrod Bowen's making that tackle.
Well, their offense is really keeping our defense engaged. Once they lock on, they're getting engaged. So the defense has to get hands inside, be violent, and let go of that guy and make the tackle.
2nd down and 1. Hand it off again. Jackson's easily got the first down. He's got much more than that. Getting inside the 20, the 15, and down at the 13-yard line. Just exploded over right tackle that time and found the running room he was looking for.
And that's a power run off the side, and that right tackle just sealed the defense in, and the guy found a crease, and he was gone.
So the ball is going to be placed at the 12-yard line. And there is a whistle and a flag. And this time it'll be a procedure call against the offense for a false start.
Well, last weekend I was watching Canadian football, and the guys were running all over the field in motion. And, I saw that tonight. I'm like, wait a minute, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah, to you, it looked normal.
It looked normal.
So Benedictine gives back 5 yards. Remember, earlier in this drive, the Hawks jumped offside, gave them 5. Now it's going to be 1st down and 15. And they hand it off and trying to go up the middle and not finding much there. Javion Baker.
And the linebackers did a tremendous job filling that time. They had a motion with the lead going through for that lead blocker, and that linebacker just punched through.
It's a big play because you only allow 1 yard basically and leaves a 2nd down and long. Dwayne Jackson checks back in. They won't hand it to him. They'll throw it for the end zone, and that ball is incomplete. It was knocked out of the hands of the receiver, Trey Saunders. Great job on the coverage there.
And they're trying to find a mismatch. The quarterback is looking at that slot receiver. Check him out. He's just staring him down, slot receiver, and he's running vertical with the linebacker right over the top, and Trey came over to finish it up. So that's the conundrum. If you're a quarterback, you have to throw it high over that linebacker, but your safety came and cleaned it up. That was a perfect defense and exactly the right place to put the ball if you're a quarterback.
Terrell Benningfield Jr. was the intended receiver. Again, couldn't hang on to it through the hit. 3rd down, 14. Here's pressure, and they throw it over the middle, little screen, and that goes nowhere. Great job by Anthony Murphy as he gets on Marvin Conkle immediately and drops him. There is a flag on the play. It's going to be a shift against the offense here.
I tell you, that Anthony Murphy is a special kid. That's a lot of speed, a lot of movement. He bends really well at the hips.
So 4th down play. Looks like they're going to attempt the field goal again. Christian Cora missed one earlier. This one will be placed at about the 21-yard line, 31-yard attempt, and that one is lined straight through. So Benedictine adds to their lead as they go up on the Hartley Hawks by the score of 10-0 here in the first quarter. So for the Hawks, they get out of that, only giving up 3 points. Could have been 6 had that ball been held onto in the end zone. So they dodged that bullet. But now, Randall, it's really about the offense figuring it out here. 3 and outs on each of the first 2 drives.
Right, so I think they need to get to the corner a little bit more. I know their bread and butter is right up the middle, but they have so many bodies in the middle that they can't move. So we got to get them softened up by getting to the edge. You have to set the edge, set the edge, set the edge, and then you start getting back to that middle game that you're used to.
And again, you go back 1 week ago, Canal Winchester. That's what they were facing. They had some early success in the middle. That success went away. They couldn't run it up the middle. Finally, as you said, they softened it up. They got to the outside. Everything changed from there.
Yeah, and I want to see Trey Saunders and some of these guys get some speed and space, quick little passes, get them out there, athlete on athlete, make a move, and hopefully take it to the house for 40 yards, 50 yards, whatever that number is.
Yeah, because when you're talking about Peyton Underwood, he's got a strong arm as a quarterback, no doubt about that. But where this team has the most success in the passing game is doing what you said. Trey Saunders, Richard Kenning, they both can run after the catch. Get it to them where they have the room to do that. And Saunders will let this ball go into the end zone again for a touchback.
And you almost want a slight little breeze to kind of hold that ball up in the air so you get Saunders to return it, right? Because there's a lot of speed left on that field.
So let's see what they've talked about offensively, about how to counter this big defensive line of Benedictine. And, you look across the front of that, Darnell Johnson, he's a sophomore. He's 6 foot, 230 pounds. He's right in the middle of that thing. First down and 10, put Underwood in the shotgun, and they jump off sides. And that was Anthony Murphy, got the early jump. So they'll take it back to the 15.
And it's the mental lapses that get you every single time.
Again, they have Niall Johnson lined up on the left side. Now they shift him into the backfield. Underwood hands it off to Saunders. He wants to try the middle, and he's going to be able to spin his way back to the original line of scrimmage. In fact, they'll put it at the 21, pick up a 6 on the play.
And I'll tell you, that right guard did the left guard did a heck of a job coming around to the right side and digging that out. But that hole, it closed quickly. There's all kinds of bodies flying around in that middle.
Darnell Johnson on the tackle. 2nd down and 9. Ken Johnson set up right beside Underwood in the backfield. Peyton fakes it. Now he's going to throw it, and there is an incomplete pass. There was contact there. There's a flag on the field at the 25-yard line. Ineligible receiver downfield against Hartley. So they'll back him up and replay 2nd down. No, they won't. They declined the penalty. 3rd down and 9.
Well, they had the matchup that they wanted. There was a mismatch on the outside, and it was almost 2 wide receivers on 1 DB, and they just ran right into that DB.
3rd and 9. The Hawks have yet to convert on a 3rd down in this game. And again, there is miscommunication. Another false start.
I tell you what, a team that's as good as Benedictine, you cannot give them yards and you can't drop interceptions.
Right.
So this is a great team that you cannot give this much room to. They'll take advantage of it.
Yeah, because you just went from 3rd down and 9 to 3rd down and 14. Now it's going to take a much bigger play to get the 1st down. Underwood takes it. Inside handoff to Johnson. Breaks a tackle, and he gets across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Good pursuit there. Brandon Boyd Jr. coming in to make the tackle. That's going to leave him 4 yards short of the 1st down.
And that's a great kick-out block and a good move. He did a good job on that jump skip. But this is where Hartley seems like they're going to go for it.
4th down and 4. Actually, they're not going to snap the football. The first quarter is going to end And they will talk about it on the sideline, and wouldn't be surprised if they punted away to start the second quarter. But the first quarter is in the books. Benedictine with a touchdown and a field goal so far in this one. And it is a 10-0 lead for the Bengals over the Hartley Hawks. This is Hartley Hawks football.
Can you see yourself working on TV, radio, or social media? As media professionals, we make our voice heard. Call the Ohio Media School and be a part of something bigger than you and me. You'll train and get the skills you need to work in TV, radio, social media, film, and much more.
I graduated and now am working as a director of marketing at a local radio station. My future is set.
Call the Ohio Media School now and be a part of something bigger. 614-723-9675. 614-723-9675.
The Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation is a proud partner with the Ohio Media School and Score on Air Network. The foundation has provided food and other essentials to families in Columbus's Northeast Quadrant since 2018. They've also established the Porter Athletic League, which provides a safe environment for youths 8 to 13 to play sports, study, and work with volunteers from the Columbus Police and Franklin County Sheriff's Departments. For more information, visit lanceandeileenporterfoundation.org today.
No surprise, the Hawks line up to punt the ball, but it's going to be a fake punt. They snap it to Bryce January, and Bryce has got the first down up to the 34-yard line.
I tell you what, that Bryce January kid has some nifty feet, and he got out of a pickle there. And watch this speed as he just kind of tap dances through some of this traffic. And he has to make a decision. He does a good job reading. Then he just taps and says, I got to get this first down, and he plunges forward. That's a good run by the young man.
Some good blocks there. Sherrod Bowens and also Deontay Hubbard with some big blocks to help him get that first down. So here we go. First down and 10 for the Hawks. They convert on fourth down. Underwood to throw. Gets it out to Saunders, and he is trying to get away from the defender, but Mike Hatcher will have none of it. That's going to be a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, and they're trying to get some speed and space, and the wide receiver just read that one wrong. Defense did a good job punching on the outside and maintaining leverage so he doesn't bite the corner. And the wide receiver has to recognize that and cut it back into some traffic, get a 5-yard gain instead of trying to go for 50.
Second down and 13 now.
Usually you don't see that kind of strong play by corners. That was great.
Underwood hands it off to Johnson. Little counter play, but the defense doesn't get fooled on that. All over Niall Johnson this time. Right in the middle of that, Kareem Jennings. Now it's going to be another third down and long. Third down and 15.
And I tell you, there's all kinds of hitting going down in there. I thought I saw one of the offensive linemen's mouthpieces fly out. And this is good football here, guys.
The Hawks line it up with nobody in the backfield. They're going to bring Hubbard in motion. They brought too many men in motion. Richard Kenny was going as well. Underwood was visibly upset there that his teammates weren't on the same page, but the call goes against the defense for being offsides.
I'll tell you what, that's a surprise, or when you see two offensive guys moving at the same time to call in the defense.
So maybe a bit of a gift there. Third down and 10. They bring Hubbard in motion. Underwood wants to throw. He's got time, and he comes to the near sideline. Trey Saunders made the adjustment, makes the catch. It carries it to the 18-yard line.
That's the speed and space that we're talking about. You have to get your guy to go vertical with that kind of speed. And Trey he put the ball up there and let it hang and let your receiver find it and go get it.
Take a look at it again. As you just said, Randall, air it out.
And that's a good-looking ball, but that lets you know what kind of speed the young man has to where he has to wait on that ball to come down. That's burner speed all day. That's world-class speed.
First down and 10. Handed off to Johnson. Bouncing to the outside, but he couldn't get around the corner. Kareem Jennings, great tackle from his defensive line position.
And if you guys want to see textbook fundamental defense, that's it right there. You engage with your offensive guy, you get off the block, and then you make that open field tackle. You go low, go at the legs, stop the machine from moving, and you make that stop. That's a good job of that young man.
Two receivers out to the right for the Hawks. And they'll throw toward one of them, but that's incomplete over the head of Trey Saunders, trying to get him on a slant.
Yeah, they had the double slant going there, and he let it float. Once again, you got to, as a quarterback, you got to make sure that you stick that ball low, because once you let it float, you don't know what's behind in the back.
So it'll be a 3rd down and 10 now. See if the Hawks can convert on this. Remember, this drive continues because they started off by going with a little trick play on a punt and converting on 4th down. Saunders coming in motion. They hand it to him, looking for blockers, and he steps out of bounds at about the 14-yard line.
Tell you what, if he sheds that one block, he's in the end zone right now. There's that one kid that got a hold of him, and he ran out of space down that sideline, and that's the quintessential Hartley play. They like to run to that boundary and pack it in, find the seam, and go.
So Alex Gabriel is on to attempt a 31-yard field goal. It's coming from the left hash mark. Gabriel gets it up and misses. No good. Well, you could see that he was hurried there a little bit. There was a defender came off the end and was diving as he was making contact with the football.
Yeah, when that guy comes off the end, you can see him out of your left corner. And as you plant and you swing that leg through, you just cross it over. That causes you to hook it. And usually when they come from the right side, you push it a little bit because you see him coming and you false step. So he'll get it straight for the next kick and the next attempt.
So they'll put the ball at the 20-yard line. That work by the Hawks results in 0 points. They're still down 10-0.
You know what, I'm really impressed with Hartley's pass blocking. The quarterback has had plenty of time. He's staying clean. I think he got hit one time on a drop back pass, but for the most, the offensive line's doing a good job with the pass blocking.
C.J. Yarborough back to run this offense for Benedictine. They've got the 10-0 lead, and Yarborough wants to throw. He's got time, and he comes down the middle, and he's got a man wide open at the 46-yard line, down inside the 35 to the 33. Marvin Conkle, nobody accounted for him, and Yarborough knew exactly where to find him.
Yeah, so they ran double seams on that one, and the quarterback had a choice to make. If the safety number 9 jumps on that slot receiver, then you hit the outside guy. And you guys will see right here in the replay, the quarterback staring it down, looking at that safety, finding where he's going, and then he goes to the open guy.
Well, they got 47 yards on that pass play. Now they run the ball off left tackle, and they're going to pick up about 4 on this one, get it down just inside the 30-yard line.
Tell you what, their quarterback's doing a great job reading all of his keys, and he's commanding the game. He has a great bark out there. You can tell that he's a leader.
I try to use that bark again. And this is the norm, especially in high school football. No more huddles. It's all that muddle up to the line and look over and get the signs, try to draw the defense off. See, now he sets up deeper and throws to the near sideline. Nice defensive play. Turned in by the Hawks.
And I'll tell you what, when you got a corner that has a lot of speed like that, that corner did the right move. Left hand was on that wide receiver's hip. Broke it up with the right hand in case the receiver caught it. Then he can just slide the hand down on the hip and make the tackle.
Richard Kenny is the man that was in coverage there, and he made that play, 3rd down.
I'll tell you what, he's about an inch away from jumping on that pass next time.
Javion Baker shifts to the right of the quarterback. They fake the handoff to him. They throw it. Conkle's got it. And he's got a 1st down and more as he carries bodies all the way to the 11-yard line.
Yeah, they're finding a soft spot in that slot receiver. The slot's what they're trying to hit up. Let him sit down in that pocket in the zone and then just turn it upfield and go. He has no blocking, and that's all just wheels going and churning.
Another 1st and 10. Hand it off. And bouncing to the left this time is Baker. He gets it inside the 5.
When you have speed like that and you get a choice on that left side, you can either pound it in or bounce it on that corner. And he found a little seam and he just bounced it over to the corner and got some good yards on that.
Well, the Bengals really just dictating the way it's going to go right now, both in the passing game and now in the running game. See if they go back to the ground on this second down. And they do. Baker off the right side. He's caught from behind and drugged down. Deshaun Tucker was in there, but looked like the guy that got to him first was Griffin Hallinar.
Yeah, the defense got some good penetration that time, shutting it down. But every time the quarterback gets under center, it looks like he's going to run it.
Third down and just 1 here.
I'll watch the quick slant on this one.
Hand it off to the first man through. They push toward the goal line. And the signal comes up. That's a touchdown.
That was just an old school fullback dive. My 5 against your 5, and let's see if we can move the pile.
And carrying the football was Gabriel Batowski. And Batowski, as you said, just a quick hit for the fullback. Now we'll try to add the extra point. And that kick is good, so 17-10. Benedictine extends their lead over the Hartley Hawks, picking up their second touchdown of the game with 6:10 remaining here in the first half.
When I tell you what, I told you when you get to about that 4th or 5th game, you try to figure out what your identity is as a team. Benedictine has a clear identity. We're going to line up, we're going to run the ball and smack you in the mouth and see what happens and make you stop it. And then if you think you can stop it, we'll hit you on a little bubble screen and get you out in space with our quick guys. And then if you stop that, then they'll go on a slant with the verticals. 3 single plays that they run.
Yeah, and again, we're talking about pace the whole time. This was just a quick hit. Right up the middle. So, yeah, you're right about that. That's what that play is right there. But, when they are throwing the ball again, a little bit here in that last drive, Yarborough had some time to sit back and pick a receiver. But for the most part, it's about that movement, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they come up to the line, they bark, they try to draw you off sides. Okay, now you're not buying into that. They shift back into a shotgun, they get the ball, and they get it out of his hands.
Yeah, and if you're a defensive lineman and they're running, 3-step throws, you're expending a lot of energy trying to get to the quarterback. And then all of a sudden it's a 5-step and you're like, oh, man, I got to go get the quarterback now.
Return here for Saunders. It goes off his body, and he just dives on it at the 15-yard line. It's funny, Trey had a punt return for a touchdown last week, and he also fumbled one away last week. Kind of similar to that. He stepped up and it went off his fingertips. And this one he's able to get it back. But I talked with Brad Birchfield about that this week, and he said, you know what? We concentrate for the most part on if that ball's near the end zone, we let it go in the end zone. If it's on a punt, we'll let it go. We don't want to give it away on a mistake.
Well, I think I saw Trey's eyes getting big from all the way up here. He was salivating. He was ready to go. The Corvette's full of gas and ready to go.
Well, there's no doubt. That's the first one that's fallen short of the goal line all night, right?
Yeah, he's been waiting on that one. But sometimes you anticipate it too much, because you're ready to go.
So it's a first down and 10. And a little quick handoff. Niall Johnson not finding a lot of room, and worse than that, Niall Johnson is down on the ground here at the end of the play.
And that's one of the things we talked about at the beginning of the game is staying injury free. Don't get nicked up because you're going to need the best of your best to be out there.
Yeah, and you can see the frustration for Niall. Once again, his numbers coming into the game, and
Well, there's a good thing. He's getting up. He's favoring that right leg a little bit there, and he's upset, but trying to walk it off as best he can.
Well, when you get an athlete like that that's competitive, hyper-competitive, you're upset because you have to come off the field for one play, right? You're nicked up, but you want to go back in, but they're telling you got to come off.
So now with him out, Deontay Hubbard checks back into the backfield.
There's a good matchup down here at the bottom with these two locked up with the corner, one-on-one. Let's see if they take advantage of it.
Yeah, they pass it to Saunders, and he is going to be whipped out of bounds. And there's a flag that comes in at the end of the play. Terrell Grier in coverage. On the flag against the Hawks. They say an ineligible receiver was downfield, calling that against Donovan Davis.
What's another mental lapse, right? So we're giving back 5 again to a defense. As you can see how they tackle on the outside. They're aggressive. They hit hard. And you can't get rid of them. But that's how you soften up that corner. That's exactly what you want. Those quick little outs, soften up that corner.
There's a handoff.
Great
and up
run.
the middle. Here goes Hubbard all the way over the 25-yard line, diving ahead for what looks to be a first down.
Well, when you see the big fellas coming through at you in 3D full speed, that's a good thing. Offensive linemen pulling around full speed. Running backs going straight downhill, getting to that next level on linebackers, and now you have a choice to make out against the safety.
First down at 10. All out at the 26. Underwood hands it off to Hubbard again, and he finds some running room over the right side. Brought down at the 29, pickup of 3.
I'll tell you what, there's a tremendous chess match happening down here at the bottom of the screen between the corner and the wide receiver down here. They're going through their progressions, and they're setting it up for something big.
So as Niall Johnson is on the sidelines after getting banged up a couple of plays earlier, Deontay Hubbard taking on the responsibilities out of the backfield. Now they pitch it to Saunders, and Trey trying to shoot through. He does, and down the field he goes. Trey Saunders inside the 40, the 30, being pursued from behind and brought down inside the 10-yard line. Well, it's just a great job by Brandon Boyd Jr. to finally run him down, but Saunders got into the open field for the first time tonight and made it count.
And that's what you call having great vision and keeping your feet moving, keeping your pad level low, using your hand to maintain your balance and shoot out like a cannon.
There's Saunders off the field for this next play, and here's exactly what you're talking about, Randall.
Well, you see him give the fake, give the quick little pitch in the middle. He finds the hole, keeps his hands down, pad level low, and shoots out like a cannon. Now, there's not too many people in the state of Ohio that can catch this guy. This guy has elite speed, and we see number 3 there coming from behind and making a touchdown-saving tackle.
That formation, they give it to Hubbard. He's a deep man, and he goes around the right side into the end zone for the touchdown.
And that's the brand of Hartley football that we all come out here to see. You see the triple I stack, and you just work your way from the inside out is what they call it. You go inside, go to the B hole, go to the C hole, and then you hit the D at the corner, and you're in. It's great blocking up front by the big guys.
And another angle at it, Sherrod Bowens, and then there's Deshaun Tucker with a good block there. That brings Hubbard free to the end zone. Gabriel out to attempt the extra point. And this one is up and good. Again, he saw that man coming off the end. And that is the second time
Then Mike Hatcher has gotten free just about untouched, but this time Alex Gabriel very cool. You said he would make that adjustment. He did.
And most kickers do. They make that adjustment. Once they get used to that guy coming off the side screaming like that, they make the adjustment. And the thing here that you see about Hartley football is you can't get the rock if you don't block. All of these running backs are blocking. The key that sprung that guy for a touchdown was the running back blocking. Linemen did their job. Running back came across the side and filled in nice and got the seal at the end.
And again, Deontay Hubbard finishing the job. Trey Saunders setting it up with a big run to get the ball inside the 10-yard line.
And both of these teams are laden in tradition, so there's no quitting on either side. So you got, it's basically like a pit bull and a Rottweiler going at it. There's no quit. They're just going to keep going.
Brandon Boyd Jr. is the deep man for Benedictine. And Alex Gabriel about to kick it away for the Hartley Hawks. And a whistle. And Hawks are being called for being offsides on the kick. So they'll back it up from the 40 to the 35.
And what you got to love about Coach Birch, he's down there giving them the business, and he's trying to coach up the officials on that to drop the flag. But when you have momentum on your side and you got kids on the kickoff team ready to make something happen, they get excited and they're ready to go. I mean, you're running 50 yards down the field like your hair is on fire, and you're down there to make some bad intentions on the other end. This is what we used to call the blood and guts team. We want to see some blood and guts. Let's go and kick off and make it happen.
Line drive kick this time. And that ball bouncing toward the sideline and out of bounds. Well, didn't really want to put it where Boyd might be able to return it, but didn't want to put it out of bounds either. Just didn't get the bounces.
That was a beautiful punch. He probably ran out of room about 3 yards.
Yeah. And he got pushed back 5 yards,
And he
right?
got pushed back 5, yeah.
There's your yardage right there. So that'll give Benedictine give Benedictine good field position.
Well, we got 3:30 left here, so we're going to see, are they going to try to pound it out and go back to their bread and butter, or are they going to try to hit those vertical seams again and loosen up that defense?
Timeout on the field. They have called the timeout here for everybody to get on the right page. Looking along the sidelines here for Niall Johnson. Did you see? He was getting worked on there for a bit. Just looking to see if I could find where he is at this moment.
Yeah, he was getting worked on. I don't know if they took him inside or if he went to a tent somewhere.
Yeah. Now the Hawks defense set to go to work.
Well, they got that slot receiver again, so they look like they're going to go vertical, maybe.
Here's a little pump fake, and now up top, and that ball is incomplete again. Running down there along the right sideline, Terrell Grier. And tell you what, he was all by himself.
Yeah, they set that one up from earlier when Kenny jumped on him and tipped the ball away on that hitch. So they did a fake on the hitch and told him to go deep. Kenny bit on it, and then the kid took off.
Again, the ball just a little bit underthrown, 2nd down and 10.
No, a pass like that is as good as an interception, so that's a good thing because you didn't score a touchdown.
A lot of movement along the line, and this will be against Benedictine. False start, 5-yard penalty.
Well, look like the right guard try to get an early jump on that. And those big fellas, when they get moving, there's not much stopping them. The minute they move a pinky, everything else is moving.
That'll move the ball back to the 35-yard line. Could be a break for the Hawks right there. You just had the incomplete pass. Now they make a mistake, back up 5 yards. These are the kind of momentum swings you have to try to make the most of. And the timeout is going to be called by Benedictine. So the Bengals want to talk it over.
Yeah, Hartley's got to figure out how they're going to stop that that slot receiver on that vertical route. That's going to be the big conversation. How do we stop the slot receiver?
If you've ever considered a career in broadcasting, it's time for you to check out the Ohio Media School, located in Columbus. If you're interested in radio and TV production or digital media marketing, the Ohio Media School is the choice for you. Visit beonair.com/Columbus or follow them on all social media platforms. Ohio Media School, we change lives.
So the Bengals taking their timeout. Now ready to run this 2nd down and 15 play. Benedictine coming into this game 3-0. Hartley Hawks 2-1 coming in. 17-7 game in favor of Benedictine.
Now we'll look out for Conkle out there in that slot. And they're trying to give him some room out there with those 2 receivers split out.
Take the handoff, they throw it right to him, and he's up over the 40. He's got a block. He's got a first down as he's into Hartley territory. A great call. You saw that one coming, and they executed it just like you predicted.
Well, speed and space. You get your fastest athletes out there, your best athletes out there, give them space and let them run downhill, and that's what they did. They put the Hawks defense in a predicament where you had to have your linebacker walk up and play in space at the same time.
Again, good block on the outside. And right there, you saw it, Brandon Boyd Jr. What a game he's having. He ran down Trey Saunders defensively, comes up with a big block there. You know, they're not always the huge spectacular plays, but even a block like that's a really big play.
That's the ultimate team player. I don't have the ball, but I'm going to make sure that you get where you need to get.
First down and 10. Yarborough quickly looking to the near side, and that one a little bit too tall for the intended receiver.
Well, you can see the Hartley corners playing back a little bit now. So they're going to run that hitch again and try to get that guy out in space. Because the last time the corner bit on the hitch and the guy went 20 yards down the field on him. So Hartley's going to be a little bit more conservative on the corners. They're not going to press as much and jump on those quick routes.
Aiden Turner jumping off the field right now for the Hartley Hawks. They look to the far side of the field, and this ball is caught by Boyd Jr. And he is near the first down marker. He's going to be a little bit short of it. They'll mark it at the 39-yard line. That'll have him about 1.5 yards shy.
And that kid has a burst of speed. Once he gets vertical and shoots through that hole.
Yeah, now they just run the ball quickly, trying to get the first down, and are successful. Just under 3 minutes left, and again, this Benedictine offense methodically going at it.
Yeah, Hartley had a lot of momentum after that last score, but it seems like they're slowly taking the wind out of their sails, so we're going to see if this defense can bend but don't break.
Yarborough wants to go up top, and he does, to the near sideline, and that's going to be incomplete. Well defended by Richard Kenny that time. They're just trying to use that height advantage. They got Greer listed at 6 foot, and Richard Kenny's at 5'10", so they're just trying to throw it up there and let the receiver go get it.
And that's picture perfect by that corner. You want to press that receiver down the sideline and take away as much room as possible, and the quarterback has to put air under it. And so now that wide receiver has to jump over the defensive back's back there. So that's a good job by that corner.
2nd down and 10. Little rollout. Yarborough's going to tuck it away and try to get to the corner, but he is going to be ridden right out of bounds. Sherrod Bowens again on the tackle.
Hey, Bowens brings the heat. He really comes with some bad intentions when he comes after you. He's not going to run 50 yards across the field and not hit you. And when he hits you, you're going to feel it. And the quarterback couldn't get it up because the DBs did a good job down the field. But this young man is coming with some bad intentions.
And one of his intentions was to try to slap that football, and the slap got the shoulder pad and not the football, unfortunately. So, again, doing everything right. The thought process was there. Physical execution was good. It's a good tackle. 3rd down play coming up. Look to the left side, and making that catch is Boyd, and he goes down the far sideline, and that is a touchdown.
Yeah, Boyd
Take
has...
that bad. That is, that Brandon Boyd just going down that far sideline with that speed. And again, Randall, they get him out there, and, basically it's one-on-one. And as soon as it's that, he's able to go.
Well, he takes a 4-step out, catches the ball on a hitch, gets a nice stiff arm, and then just puts it in a different gear with that speed. When you have elite speed like that, you can just put it in a different gear.
Fresh January coming up there. He was the one that tried to make that initial play, and then once they got by him, there wasn't anything else there, unfortunately. Extra point is up and good, and Benedictine extends the lead. It is 24-7 here with 2:26 remaining in the first half. So the Bengals answered. They gave up the touchdown to Hartley. They came right back out. Didn't sulk about it, didn't let it affect them whatsoever. Went out and they played their offensive game.
And that's the identity that you talk about, right? So this team has a clear identity about who they are and what they want to do to you. And I'm really impressed by the speed on the outside with the receivers. That last play, if that defensive back stays low and avoids that stiff arm, you're down on the legs and you're stopping that legs. But the minute that wide receiver gets a little bit of space and then he uses that to propel himself with that speed, oh, look out, buddy. That kid's running forever.
So we'll see what happens on this kickoff. Or the kicker, Christian Cora, had put first couple into the end zone. Last one went off the body of Trey Saunders. He was able to get it back. They kick it in Saunders' direction again, and there he just sidesteps and looks it into the end zone.
I'll tell you what, we have plenty of football left. I just said 3:30 a minute ago, and here we are, 2:26.
Yeah, that's almost amazing when you do these Hartley games. That clock disappears quickly. Not tonight. And it's funny, even the way that Benedictine runs their offense so fast, but of course a stoppage every time they pick up a first down, and they're back at the line and set and ready to go again.
Yeah, that's one thing to keep the clock going. Don't let them get a first down.
Yeah. Well, for the Hawks, they want to get the ball into the end zone. Now, they have an opportunity here, Randall, because they get the ball to start the second half.
Right, so you got to go down here and get some points, and then hopefully get the ball back in the second half and generate some more points.
Underwood fakes the handoff, and he throws it to Saunders. And Saunders has got a blocker. He gets caught from behind and brought down at the 29-yard line. That's going to be a 9-yard gain.
And I'll tell you what, that is a demonstration of team speed. That's a linebacker coming over, tackling a wide receiver with elite speed. Good job by the wide receiver scooping up that low ball and maintaining his balance and finding the yardage there. So we got about one more yard to go for a first down.
By the way, Niall Johnson is back in the game, lined up at tailback. He breaks out of the formation, goes in motion. He'll swing a pass his way, but it's incomplete. Underwood didn't get that ball thrown on target.
And that's a tough throw because you have to set your feet as a quarterback and open those hips up and lead that running back. And he let him a little bit too much. He short-armed it, so it made the ball fall short in front.
Third down and 1. So they had the luxury of being able to pass on that play. And now with the running game they have, they should feel confident that they can pound one here and get the first down. Sherrod Bowens is lined up as the fullback with Johnson as the tailback. Sends Saunders in motion to turn. They give it to Johnson, and he goes over the right side, and he's got the first down. No secrets, right? Late flag, though. Little extracurricular activity following the play.
Well, I think both teams are talking about what Tuesday Mass is going to be like and then what scripture is going to be read. So I think it was just a little verbal exchange in there. But I think everything will work itself out.
Call that against Brandon Boyd Jr. And that is a 15-yard penalty, and Hawks get a nice chunk of yardage right there.
Well, I guess that scripture was about the blessing of the Lord because they got 15 yards on that one, and that was a gift from above.
That's what you guys used to talk about on the field, right?
Absolutely. We never talked about anybody's mama.
Right. Ball's at the 45. Underwood turns, looks right side, and he hits Richard Kenny. Kenny's looking for some blockers, and he's got some as he rolls up to the 45-yard line of Benedictine. You know, they ran a similar play last week, and it went for a touchdown. Richard got some blockers here, but again, you mentioned it. This defense kind of just flows to the football.
Oh, yeah, and a kid like Richard, he's used to picking his way through. In this one, you got to plant your foot and go, young man, because they have team speed that comes at you fast.
2nd down and 1. 2 receivers to either side. Handed off to Johnson. Up the middle he goes. He's got the first down and much more as he is to the 30-yard line.
And that's one of the things that Johnson did right there. He planted his foot and he went. He didn't dance too much because he knows that team speed is coming. So he gets to the next level. Left guard pulls, does a great job kicking out. Next level, plant your foot and go. Let's get that extra yards and let's keep it moving.
That's about as spread as the Hartley offense gets right there with the 2 receivers to each side as Johnson gets this one and then gets leveled. Marvin Conkle, nice tackle for no gain. But, you know, some teams, they'll spread it out, 4 or 5 receivers, and I mean from sideline to sideline. And the Hawks are still pretty compact there. They've got a slot man on either side, but that's enough to spread it out for Niall Johnson. It's just enough of a different look, and you have to respect what they're doing.
Yeah, and then these running backs, they just need a little seam because there's so much speed on the field. If we can just get a little seam, that's another 4, 5, 8 yards. And that last play, the quarterback did a good job opening up his hips this time. He planted his foot and led the running back. Corner did a good job pressing forward.
Let's take a look at it again. Well, no, that's the run up the middle for Niall. But again, he's got to be part of the mix. I mean, he is the feature back in this offense. He is the guy that week after week has come up with the big yards and the big touchdowns. Here's the pass. As you said, that's a perfect lead that time, but more of a perfect tackle.
That's a perfect tackle. As you can see, Benedictine had 4 or 5 defenders out there already with that team speed.
2nd down and 10. Deontay Hubbard is lined up in the backfield now for the Hawks. Fake the handoff to Deontay. Underwood throws. And there is a flag as the ball falls incomplete. Trey Saunders was the intended receiver. And it looked like there was some tugging going on down there.
Well, I'll tell you, Trey sold that post corner. He gave a head fake with the right lean and drove off his right hip and came left. It's great blocking up front by the offensive line. Good blitz pickup by the running back. You can see Trey down here in the slot. Watch him run this post corner. Right there, plants right and swims over.
So they call it holding there. You saw it on the arm right at the end. Actually, it's there are 2 penalties. They call them for defensive holding and defensive pass interference. Half the distance to the goal.
And if you're Benedictine, you take that penalty versus giving up 6.
Yeah, that's right.
Live to fight another day.
45 seconds left here in this first half. Hawks with 1 timeout remaining. Pitch the ball and nowhere to go. That one shut down quickly as Richard Kenny tried to come on that jet sweep.
Yeah, that Kareem Jennings, I tell you what, that kid is tough on that end. He's controlling that edge, he's setting that edge, and then he explodes through the running back.
Well, now whistle here, and Hartley was up at the line. There's 27 seconds left. So, Randall, what they blow that whistle for? Was there a timeout, or did they didn't announce a timeout?
No, they didn't announce a timeout. Maybe there was there wasn't an injury, was there?
No.
No.
Now there's a timeout taken by Benedictine.
That was just a strange sequence.
Yeah, everything was strange there. Even as Hartley was coming back on the field, they had guys that were running around wondering if they were supposed to be on the field. Thomas Williams was coming in, and then he turned. He started back toward the sideline. They said, no, get back out there. So sometimes all the time in the world is not a good thing.
No, no. Well, and as you see the clock hitting down to 27 seconds, the panic starts coming in, right?
Right. Exactly. But again, let's look at this situation. It's a 24-7 game. If you can find a way to get into the end zone before the end of this half, if you can make this a 10-point game, then you get the football coming out to start the second half of this game. So that's why this is a big swing. Yes, you'll take whatever points you can get right here, but if you can find a way to move it into the end zone, you'll really be sitting in a nice spot.
And what would you say is the distance on that the kicker's leg for Hartley?
Well,
because he hasn't been pressed yet this year, has he?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know they like him a lot. They love his kickoffs. They love how far he can kick it on the kickoff. But, again, we've seen that Benedictine's had a guy coming right off the end tonight. You know that's going to be in his mind, especially if it gets to be a lengthy kick.
And you got to keep it a little bit lower.
Underwood takes it, and he throws it near side. Deontay Hubbard's got it, and he gets inside to 10, and he gets knocked out of bounds near the 5.
I'll tell you what, that was a lot of concentration all the way around on the quarterback not panicking. 23 comes in free and clear. Quarterback doesn't panic. He lays it out there, gives his guy enough time to get to the ball, and the running back secures the ball and gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Tell you what, Deontay Hubbard is offensively really having himself a good game here. He's already got one touchdown. Nice job in this catch. And as you said, nobody around him. He has to slow down and turn around and make that catch, but that's because Peyton Underwood is under pressure. Just great execution, great adjustments. Hubbard lined up as the tailback. And we get a whistle. And we're going to have an offsides call against the defense. First down and goal, and that ball's going to get even closer to the goal line.
Well, in these situations, the crowd is starting to become a factor, so the defense can't hear, and the crowd is really riling up a little bit, making some noise, and you get a 5-yard penalty, so it looks like Benedictine's giving back some yardage now from what Hartley did in the first quarter.
Yes, they are. Send Bowens in motion, turn, pitch it to Hubbard, and he drops the ball and has to dive on it. Probably a loss of 1. And that's going to force the Hawks to have to take the timeout. Well, that's not in the game plan.
No. Well, I tell you what, for a running back like that coming in, he's got a hot hand. Hubbard is playing a good game. And you could almost see his eyes on that pitch getting wide open because all he saw was 4 blue jerseys in front of him and nothing but a touchdown in green. If he would have held and secured that ball, he's turning the corner and he's still in the end zone. And that's the quintessential Hartley play, right? So let's run to the boundary. Let's throw body on body in there. And let's see what happens. Our receivers are doing a good job blocking. And you're getting the fullback lead. And look at all that blue. Oh.
Yeah, that's looks like one of those classic cases of trying to run with the ball before you have the ball, right?
That's right.
Well, let's see if that's okay or not. It's okay if you still get it into the end zone. Now you don't have a timeout to work with. And when you're talking about even trying to get a field goal, you've only got 15 seconds left here.
Well, I'm shuffling people on and off, so hopefully everybody's set with the play.
Fake the handoff, roll out, throw it in the air to the back of the end zone, and that is a touchdown. Great job, great play call, and Anthony Murphy pulls it in for the score.
I'll tell you what, that Anthony Murphy has some soft hands. What an elite athlete he is, huh? And right here, you can see the quarterback is saying to himself, I'm not going to panic because this play is going to take some time to develop. Lots of pressure, throws off his back foot, puts enough mustard in it to where only his guy can catch it. What a great play by the quarterback.
Alex Gabriel will attempt to make this a 10-point game. And he puts that one up and through. And indeed, the Hartley Hawks, with only 9 seconds left in the first half, have cut the deficit to 10. That's a nice drive.
That was a great drive to take the ball all the way down and not panic. No timeouts left. Called the right play.
And that drive, when it's all said and done, you got to give the junior quarterback, Peyton Underwood, a lot of credit, not just for this throw, but a couple of throws on that drive that kept it going. And really, his throws on that drive were like that one, Randall. They were well-timed.
Yep.
He was calm, and he let his receivers make plays.
Absolutely, and you can tell the arm strength on the young man. You said earlier he has a great arm. He threw off of his back foot, crossed his body in the back of the end zone, and dropped it down the chimney.
He sure did. And now See if Gabriel just tries to punch this one through the end zone.
At some point in time, they're going to have to start calling Peyton Sweetness around here, huh?
Another whistle on the kickoff. And another offside. That's Aiden Turner, who's on that near sideline, that has been ahead of the 40-yard line in each of the last 2 kicks and has gotten caught for it.
I'll tell you what, this blood and guts team is excited to get down there on this kickoff, but you got to cool your jets. Stay on sides. You know, the kickoff is the most violent part of this game. And you have to start to think, whose head's going to roll, their head or my head? And the first person to get a jump start on it will be the winner.
Well, now again, this kind of changes things because it's back to 35. Last time, Gabriel went with a line drive kick that wound up bouncing out of bounds. This time, he will just go with a little chip shot taken at the 35-yard line and go across the field and back to the 46-yard line, carrying that football, Brandon Robinson. And that'll take care of most of the time left on the clock. 3 seconds are still there.
Well, we got one more play. Take a knee, or are you going to try to score on this?
Well, they haven't been afraid to drop back and hoist one here, so that's what the Hawks are expecting them to do. They've already dropped 6 guys back.
Well, that's good. If Hartley has 6 back and they can only run 4 verticals. I did pass Algebra 1.
There you go. Let's see what Yarborough decides to do here. He's got 3 receivers to his right. And we get a whistle. And a timeout was taken just before the snap.
See, I'm not a big fan of this look where you have 6 guys standing back at the 30. And then you have 3 guys just running free. So you got to get somebody up there, press those guys, knock them off their routes a little bit and disrupt it. You can't just give them free reign on a 30-yard sprint, because that's where you get a pass interference and it extends the play again.
Yeah, but that's exactly how they had it set up. As you said, they had 3 men on the line and 3 men floating, and then the other 5 guys were just standing back there waiting. So let's see if the defense adjusts at all as they come out of their huddle.
And I'll tell you what, the big guys up front, this is where you lick your chops. You get in that sprinter stance, and you know you're going to go get that quarterback.
Well, the Hawks will show the same kind of defensive look. They got 3 men on the line. They got 1 man lined up as a linebacker, and then they've got 7 guys deep. Yarborough gets caught in the backfield, spins off the first tackle, and he gets out of the second tackle, and he throws it down the near sideline, and that is picked off. And Deshaun Tucker gets back to the 30-yard line, and that's the way the half ends, well, except for the flag that just got thrown right at the end of the play.
Looks like a dead ball foul. Maybe there's a block in the back. They're discussing it out there because everybody saw different things.
Yeah. So we just wait for the final indicator, and you called it. That's a block in the back. It's against the Hawks after the pickoff. And when it's all sorted out, guess what? The half is over. And there will be nothing done about it whatsoever. So Deshaun Tucker able to pad his stats with a nice interception there for the Hawks. And again, Randall, it's a little thing, but when you just scored a touchdown to end the first half, you know you're getting the ball to start the second half, and then you force them into an interception, you take all those positives with you to the locker room.
Yeah, and I want to see some of those halftime adjustments that Hartley's going to make. They have to figure out a way to stop the vertical and stop the little bubble screen out in space. They've done a good job stuffing the run so far. Now they have to deal with speed and space and just readjust with that. It's not that Hartley doesn't have enough speed. It's just the chess match that continues, right? So it's a coaching item.
Right. What, how do you see that? What the best way to attack that and to attack that pace that the offense is setting here?
Yeah, so when you get into a situation like this where you're doing a good job stuffing up the middle, you have to get your cornerbacks to come up and press those receivers and knock them off route, because those receivers, as you saw in the first half, they would run 5 yards untouched and sit in the hole catch the ball and get another 8 yards carrying people. So you have to get in the face of those receivers, jam them at the line of scrimmage, knock that rhythm off with the quarterback, and that will help our defensive line because our defensive line has not been able to penetrate. That will make the quarterback pause for a little bit, and that's all we need for Daniel Tucson to have some lunch.
Yeah, and Daniel Tucson, a guy we haven't talked about a lot in the first half of this game. Not that he's not making plays. I know he's making plays, but he hasn't made that big play, that huge noticeable play, and that's what you want to see out of him, and you're saying he needs a little bit of help to do that.
He needs some help from the DBs because it's just easy pitch and catch right now, so we got to get some press, and you don't want to go man-to-man with that speed. So what you want to do is you want to show a man zone. So you line up like it's man, you press, and you drop back in your zone, but you're knocking off that rhythm. That's the key. And if you guys saw it here at the last play, Daniel Tucson was all over that. He got shot out of a cannon because he knew it was pass all day long.
And that was three-man rush.
And that was a three-man rush. And he sliced through it like hot butter through a knife through hot butter, you know. So I think it's a good situation coming into the second half.
Offensively, you like the adjustments that they've made so far. They're finding they weren't running the ball well early. They went 3 and out on the first 2 offensive series. Starting to run the ball a little bit now, spread it out. And then, as we talked about on that last drive, they got Peyton Underwood's arm involved.
Yeah, so that first quarter, we were talking about the chess match that's happening on the edge here with the receiver in the corner. And then that second quarter, you start to see it come alive. Now that wide receiver is really taking that corner to task, running those quick little outs to keep him honest. And then the next play will go on a post, keep him honest. Then we'll go post corner, which was the last one where we had the pass interference. So there's a progression that you have to go through to keep him honest. But I think even doing that softens up that defense because you saw a running game start to pick it up a little bit now. Once you do those things on the outside, that inside gets soft, and they have a fast team. So I'm looking for some more misdirection in our running attack. We're very smash mouth come at you attack. So I want to see some more misdirection because they have so much team speed. You got to let that speed go one way and come back the other way.
And when you're talking about misdirection, normally those guys, Niall Johnson, Trey Saunders, are really good at it. Deontay Hubbard's done a great job in this second quarter, the way he has just smashed the football, running it from the backfield. But when you're talking about the misdirection, those 2 guys lead the pack.
That's what you want. You want Deontay to go in and just smash mouth, and then you give a little bit of speed with some misdirection and make it go the other way because everybody thinks this guy's going to catch the ball, and here comes Saunders underneath on a quick handoff going the other way. I think that's going to be the key this second half is just readjusting with that. But if I'm Benedictine, that quarterback is amazing. So keep letting him run the show and keep going vertical until Hartley stops that vertical. Keep going, and you saw the guys were getting a little chippy out there. So it means a lot to both of these teams right now.
24-14. That is the score at the half. Benedictine with the lead over Bishop Hartley, but the Hawks will have the ball to start the second half of this game. We're here at Jack Ryan Field on the home of Bishop Hartley High School, where the Hawks scoring a late touchdown here in the first quarter to get themselves right back in this game. I'm Bob McElligott along with Randall Sampson, and we'll be back with the second half of this one coming up.
Today's game is being brought to you by the Ohio Media School. Find out how you can become involved in radio and TV production at beonair.com/Columbus. By the Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation, who have established and run the Porter Athletic League. By Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Find them on the web at lovethatsmile.net. And by Brick League Apparel. Check out their amazing styles at wearebrick.com.
Can you see yourself working on TV, radio, or social media? As media professionals, we make our voice heard. Call the Ohio Media School and be a part of something bigger than you and me. You'll train and get the skills you need to work in TV, radio, social media, film, and much more.
I graduated and now am working as a director of marketing at a local radio station. My future is set.
Call the Ohio Media School now and be a part of something bigger. 614-723-9675. 614-723-9675.
If you've ever dreamed of a career in the sports production industry, your dream could come true. The Ohio Media School is enrolling their next sports emphasis class soon. You'll learn about all the different aspects of what goes into the broadcast that you watch or listen to. Go from behind the scenes to the front of the camera. You'll also get hands-on opportunities to practice your skills through the Score On Air network. Call the Ohio Media School at 614-655-5250 or visit beonair.com/Columbus. Hi, this is Bob McElligott for Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Have you ever looked forward to going to any type of a doctor? Well, neither have I, but let me tell you, I do look forward to seeing Doctors Hutta and Price when I go to their practice. You know why? Well, it's as Dr. Hutta says. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And at Hutta and Price Orthodontics, you will know that they care from the very first visit. To find out the services that they provide or to set up a consultation, just go to their website at lovethatsmile.net.
Here at Ohio Athletic Performance, we have truly aligned our passions with our path and our purpose for why we are here. The vision for our company is to be able to influence and impact other people so they have the ability to reach the heights of their genetic potential, whatever that is. We train a wide demographic of individuals, all the way from young athletes to full-grown adults. We choose the things that we program very intentionally. And beyond the physical preparation that we offer people, for us it really is about the development of the holistic person, to be able to identify the things that they need, maybe unbeknownst to themselves, and then being able to bridge the gap for whatever it is that they want in their life, or what they aspire to have, or where they say that they want to go. So for us, we have aligned our passions with our purpose, and we know that we're on the proper path. And now what we're trying to do is facilitate that opportunity for everybody else to do the same.
We take physical preparation incredibly serious here at Ohio Athletic Performance. It's something that we pride ourselves on, whether it be athletes or adult clients. It's something that we want to make sure we're providing to the best of our ability. We want to make sure it's orthopedically safe. If they need rehabilitation, that's something that we can provide for them. And as Coach Trapp said, we're always intentional with everything we do, and we want to take the right steps to give that person exactly what they need.
From the adult perspective, the three things we see: a sense of community, improved health, and a great outlet.
We are intensely passionate about what it is that we do and the service that we offer, and we would love for you to come join our community.
Today's game is being brought to you by the Ohio Media School. Find out how you can become involved in radio and TV production at beonair.com/Columbus. By the Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation, who have established and run the Porter Athletic League. By Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Find them on the web at lovethatsmile.net. And by Brick League Apparel. Check out their amazing styles at wearebrick.com.
Can you see yourself working on TV, radio, or social media? As media professionals, we make our voice heard. Call the Ohio Media School and be a part of something bigger than you and me. You'll train and get the skills you need to work in TV, radio, social media, film, and much more.
I graduated and now am working as a director of marketing at a local radio station. My future is set.
Call the Ohio Media School now and be a part of something bigger. 614-723-9675. 614-723-9675.
If you've ever dreamed of a career in the sports production industry, your dream could come true. The Ohio Media School is enrolling their next sports emphasis class soon. You'll learn about all the different aspects of what goes into the broadcast that you watch or listen to. Go from behind the scenes to the front of the camera. You'll also get hands-on opportunities to practice your skills through the Score On Air network. Call the Ohio Media School at 614-655-5250 or visit beonair.com/Columbus. Hi, this is Bob McElligott for Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Have you ever looked forward to going to any type of a doctor? Well, neither have I, but let me tell you, I do look forward to seeing Doctors Hutta and Price when I go to their practice. You know why? Well, it's as Dr. Hutta says. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And at Hutta and Price Orthodontics, you will know that they care from the very first visit. To find out the services that they provide or to set up a consultation, just go to their website at lovethatsmile.net.
Here at Ohio Athletic Performance, we have truly aligned our passions with our path and our purpose for why we are here. The vision for our company is to be able to influence and impact other people so they have the ability to reach the heights of their genetic potential, whatever that is. We train a wide demographic of individuals, all the way from young athletes to full-grown adults. We choose the things that we program very intentionally. And beyond the physical preparation that we offer people, for us it really is about the development of the holistic person, to be able to identify the things that they need, maybe unbeknownst to themselves, and then being able to bridge the gap for whatever it is that they want in their life or what they aspire to have or where they say that they want to go. So for us, we have aligned our passions with our purpose, and we know that we're on the proper path. And now what we're trying to do is facilitate that opportunity for everybody else to do the same.
We take physical preparation incredibly serious here at Ohio Athletic Performance. It's something that we pride ourselves on, whether it be athletes or adult clients. It's something that we want to make sure we're providing to the best of our ability. We want to make sure it's orthopedically safe. If they need rehabilitation, that's something that we can provide for them. And as Coach Strapp said, we're always intentional with everything we do, and we want to take the right steps to give that person exactly what they need.
From the adult perspective, the three things we see: a sense of community, improved health, and a great outlet.
We are intensely passionate about what it is that we do and the service that we offer, and we would love for you to come join our community.
Today's game is being brought to you by the Ohio Media School. Find out how you can become involved in radio and TV production at beonair.com/Columbus. By the Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation, who have established and run the Porter Athletic League. By Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Find them on the web at lovethatsmile.net. And by Brick League Apparel. Check out their amazing styles at wearebrick.com.
Can you see yourself working on TV, radio, or social media? As media professionals, we make our voice heard. Call the Ohio Media School and be a part of something bigger than you and me. You'll train and get the skills you need to work in TV, radio, social media, film, and much more.
I graduated and now am working as a director of marketing at a local radio station. My future is set.
Call the Ohio Media School now and be a part of something bigger. 614-723-9675. 614-723-9675.
If you've ever dreamed of a career in the sports production industry, your dream could come true. The Ohio Media School is enrolling their next sports emphasis class soon. You'll learn about all the different aspects of what goes into the broadcast that you watch or listen to. Go from behind the scenes to the front of the camera. You'll also get hands-on opportunities to practice your skills through the Score On Air network. Call the Ohio Media School at 614-655-5250 or visit beonair.com/Columbus. Hi, this is Bob McElligott for Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Have you ever looked forward to going to any type of a doctor? Well, neither have I, but let me tell you, I do look forward to seeing Doctors Hutta and Price when I go to their practice. You know why? Well, it's as Dr. Hutta says. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And at Hutta and Price Orthodontics, you will know that they care from the very first visit. To find out the services that they provide or to set up a consultation, just go to their website at lovethatsmile.net.
Here at Ohio Athletic Performance, we have truly aligned our passions with our path and our purpose for why we are here. The vision for our company is to be able to influence and impact other people so they have the ability to reach the heights of their genetic potential, whatever that is. We train a wide demographic of individuals, all the way from young athletes to full-grown adults. We choose the things that we program very intentionally. And beyond the physical preparation that we offer people, for us it really is about the development of the holistic person, to be able to identify the things that they need, maybe unbeknownst to themselves, and then being able to bridge the gap for whatever it is that they want in their life, or what they aspire to have, or where they say that they want to go. So for us, we have aligned our passions with our purpose, and we know that we're on the proper path. And now what we're trying to do is facilitate that opportunity for everybody else to do the same.
We take physical preparation incredibly serious here at Ohio Athletic Performance. It's something that we pride ourselves on, whether it be athletes or adult clients. It's something that we want to make sure we're providing to the best of our ability. We want to make sure it's orthopedically safe. If they need rehabilitation, that's something that we can provide for them. And as Coach Trapp said, we're always intentional with everything we do, and we want to take the right steps to give that person exactly what they need.
From the adult perspective, the three things we see: a sense of community, improved health, and a great outlet.
We are intensely passionate about what it is that we do and the service that we offer, and we would love for you to come join our community.
Today's game is being brought to you by the Ohio Media School. Find out how you can become involved in radio and TV production at beonair.com/Columbus. By the Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation, who have established and run the Porter Athletic League. By Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Find them on the web at lovethatsmile.net. And by Brick League Apparel. Check out their amazing styles at wearebrick.com.
Can you see yourself working on TV, radio, or social media? As media professionals, we make our voice heard. Call the Ohio Media School and be a part of something bigger than you and me. You'll train and get the skills you need to work in TV, radio, social media, film, and much more.
I graduated and now am working as a director of marketing at a local radio station. My future is set.
Call the Ohio Media School now and be a part of something bigger. 614-723-9675. 614-723-9675.
If you've ever dreamed of a career in the sports production industry, your dream could come true. The Ohio Media School is enrolling their next sports emphasis class soon. You'll learn about all the different aspects of what goes into the broadcast that you watch or listen to. Go from behind the scenes to the front of the camera. You'll also get hands-on opportunities to practice your skills through the Score On Air network. Call the Ohio Media School at 614-655-5250 or visit beonair.com/Columbus. Hi, this is Bob McElligott for Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Have you ever looked forward to going to any type of a doctor? Well, neither have I, but let me tell you, I do look forward to seeing Doctors Hutta and Price when I go to their practice. You know why? Well, it's as Dr. Hutta says. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And at Hutta and Price Orthodontics, you will know that they care from the very first visit. To find out the services that they provide or to set up a consultation, just go to their website at lovethatsmile.net.
Here at Ohio Athletic Performance, we have truly aligned our passions with our path and our purpose for why we are here. The vision for our company is to be able to influence and impact other people so they have the ability to reach the heights of their genetic potential, whatever that is. We train a wide demographic of individuals, all the way from young athletes to full-grown adults. We choose the things that we program very intentionally. And beyond the physical preparation that we offer people, for us, it really is about the development of the holistic person, to be able to identify the things that they need, maybe unbeknownst to themselves, and then being able to bridge the gap for whatever it is that they want in their life, or what they aspire to have, or where they say that they want to go. So for us, we have aligned our passions with our purpose, and we know that we're on the proper path. And now what we're trying to do is facilitate that opportunity for everybody else to do the same.
We take physical preparation incredibly serious here at Ohio Athletic Performance. It's something that we pride ourselves on, whether it be athletes or adult clients. It's something that we want to make sure we're providing to the best of our ability. We want to make sure it's orthopedically safe. If they need rehabilitation, that's something that we can provide for them. And as Coach Trapp said, we're always intentional with everything we do, and we want to take the right steps to give that person exactly what they need.
From the adult perspective, the three things we see: a sense of community, improved health, and a great outlet.
We are intensely passionate about what it is that we do and the service that we offer, and we would love for you to come join our community.
Today's game is being brought to you by the Ohio Media School. Find out how you can become involved in radio and TV production at beonair.com/Columbus. By the Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation, who have established and run the Porter Athletic League. By Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Find them on the web at lovethatsmile.net. And by Brick League Apparel. Check out their amazing styles at wearebrick.com. The Brick League is a proud supporter of high school athletics in Central Ohio and a proud partner of the Ohio Media School. For all of your custom apparel needs, visit the Brick League at wearebrick.com and check out their amazing styles today.
Welcome back to Jack Ryan Field. We are getting set for the second half of this game between the Hartley Hawks and the Bengals of Benedictine. Bob McElligott, Randall Sampson here with you, and what a game it has been through the first half. Hartley down by 10 points, but they did get a touchdown with only seconds remaining in the first half to get it back to a 10-point game. Randall, we talked about what we thought that they needed to do for the second half. Now we're going to find out what the coaches thought. We're going to find out the way these teams respond to those halftime messages. As a player, when you go in there, are you always paying the closest attention to what's going on in there, or does it depend on what the score is?
No. So anytime you go in at halftime and they make those adjustments, you go into your small groups in there, and then you have those very detailed conversations about what's happening and what needs to be adjusted. And the coaches do a great job making those adjustments on the fly. And then you come back out and just execute. And 75% of the time, the adjustments are basically stuff that you talked about all week long anyway. So it's just about coming out and executing. Did they deliver on what they said they were going to do? And then you just come out and you make it happen.
All right, we do have some stats here from the first half that I'll give you as we go on here after the kickoff. As Benedictine is ready to send it to Bishop Hartley. Christian Cora doing the kicking. And this one is going to be taken. Coming all the way across the field as Trey Saunders takes a hit, shakes it off, gets to the near sideline, and ducks out of bounds at about the 35-yard line.
That was a good return. I know he's been waiting on that all game long. I think he got more yards going sideways than he got going forward, but it gave him good field position, showed some of the speed, and hopefully we can do more of that in the second half, because you got to bite that corner and get that edge set. And the battle that I'm looking for is number 23 down here as a defensive end. He's really setting that edge, so we got to see what that battle's going to unfold.
That is Kareem Jennings that you're talking about. Saunders goes in motion. They turn, and they hand it off on a counter play. Niall Johnson up over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Johnson got dinged up in that first half, left the game for a little bit, but he did finish with 37 yards.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we did a good job setting that edge by number 86 over there. Who's that down there? Williams for Hartley?
Yep, Thomas Williams.
Oh, man, he did a great job setting that edge on 23, who's a beast out there. But the ability to stay with that block, and like any kind of good blocker, you get your hands off before the official can see it.
Underwood sends Saunders in motion. Hands it off to the first man, Sherrod Bowens, and he gets the first down. Lumbers through up over the 45 to the 48-yard line. And Bowens running the ball for the first time in this game. But again, Randall, they have so many weapons, and they'll throw them at you again and again and again. And just when you think you have them all figured out, then they send a guy like Sherrod Bowens at you.
Yeah, and that's what that battle was right there. You saw Johnson against Murphy on the inside there, and I think that was a double pancake block where both guys pancaked each other. Offense pancaked the defense and so forth, but I think that was a good fight in the middle.
Underwood working out of the shotgun. Low snap. Picked it up. He tried to hand it off. He has to keep it himself, and that was just a broken play. He wanted to hand it to Trey Saunders, but it just wasn't there, and so it's going to be a loss of 4.
Yeah, it's a good job penetration by Benedictine. I tell you, if he holds that play, that middle had a clearing as big as a Mack truck.
So Underwood bringing him back to the line. We'll offset I formation behind him. Checks with the sidelines on the play. Going to hand it off and coming around the left side. Not finding any room this time are the Hawks and Niall Johnson.
Well, the Hawks are really trying to smash some of that in, and Benedictine is saying, no, we're not having any of it. We saw a nice little double team out here against number 23, Johnson, and he's throwing up his arm saying, bring it on. He fought through 2 guys to make that play and set that edge.
3rd down and 12. Peyton Underwood finished the first half 6 for 10, 76 yards and a touchdown. Found some good rhythm with his receivers. Capped off that last touchdown drive with a 7-yard pass to Anthony Murphy in the corner of the end zone. Peyton rolls out to his right, under pressure, throws on the run, and that is broken up and incomplete. Mike Hatcher stepped in front of the receiver and couldn't make the interception.
Well, Peyton looks a little slow getting up. Looks like he just tweaked his leg a little bit. Got a little twist on his leg. He's a little gimpy on it. But what you saw Benedictine do at the top is what I was thinking Hartley needs to start doing. So they're pressing the receivers and running man-to-man with the receivers with a zone behind them. And that throws your rhythm off as a quarterback. You don't have that rhythm of the receiver just going free.
Underwood, the punter, standing at about his own 34-yard line. And that ball is just an end-over-end rolling kick inside the 25, and that'll be down at the 24-yard line. So that's going to bring C.J. Yarborough back onto the field. Yarborough 9 for 18 in the first half, couple of touchdowns. His main receiver was Marvin Conkle, a guy he targeted 5 times for 113 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Boyd Jr. also had 4 catches for 67 yards and a touchdown. So they've done a lot of their attacking through the air in the first half of this game.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to see if they continue that or if they're going to go back to their ground game. But as you saw that last punt by Underwood, he was kicking with his right foot, and that's the foot that he hurt, that he tweaked. And so we saw that end over end. So we got to keep an eye on that because the kicking game is a big part of the game. It's the biggest part of the game is 4th down.
Well, and the good thing is Underwood is one of the few that is not a two-way player on this team. So he'll get a chance to catch his breath and hopefully get that leg back to where it needs to be. Here's a handoff, and over the left side, just getting to the 25-yard line on the carry is Dwayne Jackson. We've had a lot of guys that have run the ball. Jackson had 42 yards in the first half of this game. Javon Baker had 43 yards. And also the other guy that's worked out of the backfield is Julius Robinson. He had 9 yards in the first half, and then they had the fullback quick hitter with Gabriel Batavsky for the 4-yard touchdown. So they've had a lot of guys that have touched the ball, but, for the most part, you're going to see Baker or Jackson back there.
Yeah, that last play, they tried to go power left by just getting a student body left. So let's see if they try play action here.
Nope, just going to go with a quick throw down the far sideline, and that is caught. And the receiver able to shed the would-be tackler, and Brandon Boyd Jr. turns that into a big gain all the way to midfield.
Yeah, that's what we call painting the helmet. You typically don't see it at this level, at the high school level, more college where they work on it. But that's what we call painting the helmet. You just throw the football at the back of that DB's helmet, and you take the paint off of it, let the receiver reach back and get it. And there it is.
Yep. Shakes off Kenny's would-be tackle. Now they go with the inside handoff, and this is only going to be good for a couple. The Hawks are right there covering the run. And this time on the carry is Baker. By the way, our halftime stats, Adeteyu Alowu is keeping stats here. And he's from Benedictine. He's doing a great job with the stats, and he shared all his information. He said, just make sure you get my name right. So that was my only job.
Oh, he's a great young man. He said he struggled the first week out trying to get it down, but he's got a system now.
He's got a system, big-time system, and we appreciate that.
I tell you, that was Big Davis in the middle for Hartley. The big guy was just holding his ground for a 2-yard gain there.
Here's a pass, and that is low and through the hands of the intended receiver, Brandon Boyd Jr. That's almost a gift. You got a guy, that receiver, he's been one of your top 2 targets here, and he's that open, sitting in that little pocket as he's done all night, and then the quarterback misses him. That's a gift.
Yeah, and the Hawks have to press him a little bit more. You can't let this guy get an 8-yard running start. So you got to get a guy in front of him. At least create a speed bump effect is what I call it. Make him work to get open. But right now, it's, just a pitch and catch. He's 8 yards and gone.
Here's the throw, Yarborough, and that ball is caught, but it's going to be shy of the first down marker. Again, the ball thrown a little bit low, so the receiver has to go down and make the catch. Or did they say he didn't make the catch? No, they say that's an incomplete pass. It did hit the ground.
So here's the thing that Hartley can't depend on is depend on a bad pass like that where the receiver drops the ball, right? Because it would have been 4th and half a yard.
Yeah, and they would have went for it.
And they would have went for it. So you got to press these guys on the receivers and knock them off track.
So the Hawks looking to receive a punt. Down by 10 here in the third quarter. And just a spiraling kick.
Wow.
It bounces inside the 10 and will be down at about the 8. So it's going to be a long field for the Hawks as they bring the offense back out here.
Yeah, that was a tremendous punt because the punter put it in no man's land. So, the receiver's back there about the 10-yard line, and it's a straight spiral, so you're hoping it hits the ground and rolls into the end zone, and it just dropped on a dime. And I think that's that's what we call the Skip Mossick 7-iron. Skip puts that backspin on it out there at Kinsale, and he puts on a show.
I'll take your word for it. Waiting for the invite. And I know he's watching.
Oh, yeah.
And I know he's watching. First down and 10. Underwood with the handoff. Johnson just trying to get up the middle for what he can get. Gets about 3.
And that's part of the game. So you got to wear that middle out. So that's the body shot, the body shot, the body shot. And I want to see Murph down here get out in space a little bit more and create something with that big body. So hit him on a swing pass and see what the big man can do.
And talking about Anthony Murphy, who again had a touchdown catch at the end of the first half of this game. Underwood, as the ball winds up on the ground, Peyton has to jump on it. No trickery and faking the handoff. He wanted to pull it back and then throw the ball and just got away.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there. But, this is too good of a team to where you get 5 yards and then give 5 yards back.
Yeah, especially in this area of the field. Now you're looking at a 3rd and 12.
And that's where the punt comes in, right? So it's a field position ball control game. to flip the field like that. So we got to get out of our own goalpost shadow.
Peyton will throw the ball down the near sideline, but it is too far out of the reach of Trey Saunders. He was being covered there by Mike Hatcher, and he had some separation, but it didn't matter. The pass is way too far out in front of him. And Underwood is going to have to kick the ball away from right about his goal line. Talk about flipping the field. Brandon Boyd Jr. is standing at the Hartley 40-yard line here awaiting this kick. The ball to the far sideline, and this is not going to be a good kick. Let's see where they're going to mark this. Down at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, so for all the fans out there watching the game, just thinking about field position ball control, when Benedictine punted the ball from the 50 and nailed us down at the 10, and they held, and now they have the ball back at the 25. So they gained 25 yards in flipping the field. So now they have 25 yards to go for a score or a field goal if Hartley's defense doesn't hold. So this is the coaching chess match. We want to see what their response is going to be.
Yarborough turns and hands it off, and a big play in the backfield. Deshaun Tucker coming in there, and no sooner did Julius Robinson get the ball in his hands, Tucker was on him.
And when you got the big fellas in there being violent with their hands and taking up space, that lets the linebackers run downhill and shoot through the gaps and make the plays happen. And that last second adjustment by Hartley also threw off the blocking scheme for Benedictine.
Loss of 2, 2nd down and 12. Got their running back, lone running back deep in the formation. Fake the handoff to him. And now there's pressure on Yarborough, but he gets to the left side, turns the corner, and he's got the first down inside the 10 and all the way to the end zone for the touchdown. 27-yard touchdown run, C.J. Yarborough.
Well, when a guy breaks contain like that and the DBs are running man-to-man downfield with their backs turned to the quarterback, they don't even know he's out because they're chasing their wide receivers. And we have plenty of pressure. Our defensive end just got pinned on the inside. And that quarterback has better wheels than I thought he does.
Yeah. Cora will try the extra point, and the point is up, and it is good. And that makes it a 31-14 game as we take a look at this touchdown run again.
Yeah, that's the issue. So when your defensive end jumps inside because the quarterback's scrambling to the other side of the field and then changes direction and comes at you, and now you're pinned in there.
So Benedictine jumping right back, getting their first score of the second half here to make it a 31-14 game, create more separation. And the Hawks back in that position where they need to get it to the end zone to get it back to a 10-point game.
Yeah, Hartley did a good job adjusting at halftime with the verticals that we were talking about. So they fixed that issue. Now you have to have your four up front. They have to maintain lane integrity. Meaning stay in your lane and do your job. When you try to do somebody else's job and jump into their lane, now everybody's compacted in the same lane and it leaves space on the outside. So just do your job, maintain your lane, and keep your rush lanes, and that will help solve the problem.
Saunders will let that kickoff go into the end zone. They'll take the ball at the 20-yard line. .441 remaining here in the third quarter. It's been a bit of a roller coaster for the Hawks here. They were down early. They battled back. They get close. Now they're down, give up another touchdown here. Down by 17 points, but a lot of time left on that clock, Randall. They're not a quick strike offense, so that's one thing. I mean, they're a grinded out, methodical type of an offense, but they've got those guys that have the capability of making the big play.
That's right. And they used to call them the Jackrabbits.
Richard Kenny
He's a jackrabbit. He gets into the backfield. They don't give it to him. They give it to Niall Johnson, and just as he was looking to try to break it, he cannot. Ryan Konieczny able to make that tackle. He's coming off a huge week last week, and he's just almost a spy job right there on Niall Johnson. Niall gets it. He's starting to pick his way through, and all of a sudden, Ryan is right there wrapped up around his ankles.
And they have such team speed. So with this team, you got to take the yards that you can get, right?
Picked up about 5. Second down. And this time they swing it out to Richard Kenny. Kenny trying to turn that corner, and he got stood up and taken out of bounds. And there is a flag. Mike Hatcher's going to plead his case.
I'll tell you what, that was a late flag coming in. And I think it was a little tic-tac flag there because the guy was trying to hold back. And I think his momentum just took him out of bounds with the tackle, and he even had his hands up, so we'll see.
Yeah, they call him for the late hit out of bounds. We'll watch it again here.
That's a great catch. Great control by the wide receiver. Getting to the outside. And I think it was that dip of the helmet at the end that got him.
Yeah, and he was, again, as you just said, it was borderline. He was right there. He was on the edge, but I think one of his feet was out of bounds. So that's a hard one. That's, I feel bad for players to get called for that. Here goes Kenny again, trying to spin off a tackle. And finally he's brought down by Konieczny and a host of other Bengals.
And Hartley's really spreading the ball out a lot more now. They're not compacting it inside no more, and so they're really getting to this edge. That's where they need to get their speed on the edge and see what they can do, and then you start pounding it back in again just to keep them honest.
That's the play they ran last week for a big touchdown. They get big yardage on it here. They get a first down. Getting Richard Kenny involved in the offense a little bit here. Going to hand it off, or fake the handoff to Saunders, and here's Underwood going up the middle. You don't see that often, but it's not a bad thing to run. Again, you're trying to keep the defense honest, and the last guy that they're keying on to run the football is a quarterback.
And you know what? This kid has a lot of grit. He has that bum leg. I can see it. He's grinding through it. But he said, you know what? If they call my number, I'm going to take it and give it the best I got. So you got to love a kid like that.
Picks up 4, second down at 6. And again, another wrinkle. That's one thing about this offense. They just when you think you've seen it all, they'll give you another wrinkle. They'll give you something else to think about with another player touching the football.
Yeah, and it's that identity that they're trying to establish.
Underwood throws, and he misses the intended target. Flag comes flying in at the end of the play. Saunders and Murphy just kind of got tangled up.
Yep.
Going to call holding here on the offense.
Yeah, I saw the guy got beaten. He was down on the defender's legs trying to get a tackle on him. And so they're going to call that all day long because you're trying to protect your quarterback. But you can't tackle the defensive the defensive men.
Well, you can, but you probably won't get away with it. Big second down play coming up.
I like that matchup up top.
I'll try to go with a little misdirection here. Saunders stays on his feet, drives all the way to the 35-yard line. It's actually a good pickup on that second down play. That's going to leave you 3rd down and 9 and what could be 4-down territory at this point in the game.
Well, you know, most people panic, but Hartley goes down to that boundary, and they'll pick up good yardage. 3rd and 9, people will say, oh, it's time to punt. But at Hartley, that's an easy first down in 9 yards.
Bowens comes out. Deontay Hubbard checks in. Niall Johnson started to go to the sideline. They tell him to stay out there. Actually, they're going to split Johnson out to the right. Leave Hubbard as a setback and look to throw. And throw to Richard Kenny. And Kenny ran into his own man, still continues to go forward, and he will push for a first down as he gets it to the 25-yard line.
So this is what I liked about that play. Richard said, I'm not going to get cute with it. Once I get the ball in my hands, I'm going to go for it because I know there's team speed coming. These guys are coming with nostrils flared, and he says, I'm going, and I'm going to keep my legs churning.
As I said, he ran into his own teammate there, but he just kept going.
That's a lot of power for a little guy's legs there.
Yeah. First down and 10. Fake the handoff. Underwood throws it, and he completes it to Saunders. And Trey Saunders is going to turn what looked like it might be nothing into something. It's a great catch by him, but for Peyton Underwood, how about that throw? He kept it down. There was only one guy that was going to get it, his guy.
And this kid does not panic. He pumped and put it right there where only his guy can catch it, and he scooped it and went. It takes a lot of moxie to be a quarterback back there with all these guys flying in your face and not to panic. Sometimes we call it that it factor. He has it. Everybody wants to be quarterback, but nobody has that it factor.
Picked up 8 on the play, 2nd and 2. Underwood hands it off this time, and Niall Johnson gets the job done up the middle, picks his way to a first down to the 11-yard line.
I tell you what, Andrew McFeathers over there, number 51, got a heck of a pancake block. That's what you want to see. It's called a slobber knocker. And I do believe the kid got up and his helmet was turned sideways with his nose coming out the ear hole. And that's the best block that you can get.
First down and 10. Underwood fakes the handoff, throws it to Saunders. A little bit of room for him. Now he tries to make a man miss. And he leans forward to the 9-yard line.
That's a great open field tackle. It's always tough to tackle in space for a DB like that when it's speed against speed. But to bring a kid down like that, that's a good tackle.
Yeah, and that, again, the guy that's made a lot of those tackles here tonight is Mike Hatcher for Benedictine. As that will be the final play of the third quarter, the Hawks are driving. And they'll be looking at a 2nd down and 8 as they're getting deep into Benedictine territory at the end of 3 quarters. But the Bengals have added a score here in the second half, and they lead the Hartley Hawks by the score of 31-14. This is Hartley Hawks football.
Can you see yourself working on TV, radio, or social media? As media professionals, we make our voice heard. Call the Ohio Media School and be a part of something bigger than you and me. You'll train and get the skills you need to work in TV, radio, social media, film, and much more.
I graduated and now am working as a director of marketing at a local radio station. My future is set.
Call the Ohio Media School now and be a part of something bigger. 614-723-9675. 614-723-9675.
Fourth quarter getting ready to start here at Jack Ryan Field. Bob McElligott and Randall Sampson here with you. The Hartley Hawks coming into the game 2-1, taking on the 3-0 Benedictine Bengals, who have made the trek down here from Cleveland. And Benedictine with the lead, 31-14. Hawks are driving. 2nd down and 8, deep in Bengals territory.
Yeah, this Benedictine team is everything as advertised. They're fast, physical, and bring some meanness to them. But they also have a great finesse game with the quarterback and the wide receivers, connecting and making some good things happen. So this fourth quarter is going to be interesting to see if Hartley makes a run at it.
It is going to be interesting. Make a run at it. Can they make a run at it? And then if they can, how much one can they make? Right now, they want to get this ball back into the end zone. Peyton Underwood, little shovel pass over to Trey Saunders. Gets knocked out of bounds over on the far side of the field. Down around the 6-yard line.
And that's what we call the Jack Ryan student body left to the boundary. And Jack Ryan used to say, come on, kid, come on, pal. Throw as many bodies in there as you can and let's get a block. Let's get it going, pal. Shake a leg.
Well, they did that, and they got what they could get. Spread it out a little bit here, and there was movement. And then actually, it was Benedictine taking a timeout. So with all that movement, they wanted to make sure they got it right.
Yeah, and this is critical. So you've got 6 yards to go, and if you get a first down inside of this chances are you're going to get closer to a touchdown.
Well, Brad Birchfield making his way out to the huddle on the field there, the head coach of this Hartley Hawks team. And I was talking to him before the game, and he said, we really want us to play well because the schedule gets easier after this. And nobody will argue that because of the first 4 games that he put together to go up to Youngstown and play Ursuline, Harvest Prep here in week 2, go to Canal Winchester in week 3, now take on this Benedictine team. Those are 4 tough games to start your schedule. And of course, you do that. You set that kind of schedule when you have confidence in your team, when you want your team to get better, and when you think your team can go a long way later in the season with the experience they get from the beginning of the season.
Yeah, so the first 4 games, you coach them up, you coach them the best you can, and then once you get to about that 5th game, then the team starts coaching themselves. They get that identity. They figure out who they are, where their strengths and weaknesses are, and that's when you start churning it on. And that's the time when I say you got to cut the dogs loose and let the dogs run a little bit. And I think Hartley's going to start doing that here in the second half and propelling into the second half of the season as well.
So right now they're looking at a 3rd down and about 6. Peyton Underwood takes a snap. He's got a man coming after him, throws it for the end zone. It's a little bit too high and off the hand of Trey Saunders. Incomplete. They just let that man come off the right side, right at Peyton Underwood. He didn't let that faze him whatsoever. He had his man Saunders, he had him locked in with his eyes, just couldn't get the pass on the money.
Yeah, just a tad bit behind him. He was open. He had that DB beat down there in the corner. If he would have just let him on that was an easy 6.
Hawks will attempt the field goal here. See that ball sitting at the 14-yard line. That makes it a 24-yard attempt for Alex Gabriel. Gabriel with that kick. That is good. That'll make it 31-17.
I tell you what, I really like the way that this kid has adjusted coming out here, knocking down some field goals and extra points after that first one that he pulled. But then he settled back down, and everything that he's doing right now, he's nailing it straight down the middle.
Right, and you needed that field goal at some point. Take your field goal. You're down by 2 touchdowns right now. And what would be nice is if you could find a way to get the football back, if you could find a way to force a turnover. And Benedictine hasn't made that easy here tonight. They've been very good with the football. The throws that C.J. Yarborough has made that have missed have basically fallen into open space, not around any of the Hawks. Deontay Hubbard almost picked one off in that first half, but see if there's any way they can either get pressure or they can maybe get somebody underneath where they haven't been all night. Try to get the football back here.
Yeah, and it's hard to get pressure when you're at a 3-step drop and you're throwing it, so that defensive line is getting tired of that hard rush. And then once they go to 7-step, now all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I got to go get the quarterback. So now you got to push a little bit harder. So they're doing a good job with the chess game. But I tell you what, we'd be at a 1-score game with that pick 6 from the beginning.
Gabriel with a big boot. That'll be taken at the 3. And bring it back up across the 20. Boyd Jr. across the 30, 35, breaks a tackle. He's at midfield, and Gabriel takes him down on the far side. Well, you never want to see the kicker have to make the tackle. But if the kicker's the only guy left, you really want to see the kicker make the tackle, and Alex Gabriel did it right there.
Well, and Alex did what he's coached to do. So you got to press the guy down the sideline, stay in front of him, don't jump him too quickly. Let him run out of space on the sideline and wait for the cavalry to come in.
Well, here you see just some very good running, which we have seen all night tonight from Brandon Boyd Jr. And there's Gabriel's.
And this kid is an elite athlete with that speed that he has. So we got to really, when you do that kickoff, you got to punch it away from him.
He got it back to the Hartley 40-yard line. First down and 10 from there. Yarborough hands it off, and over the right side for a gain of about 8 goes Dwayne Jackson.
And once Jackson got that corner, he really started going downhill fast. So that was a good run by him. They set the edge over there, and they're able to control it.
Picked up 7. Jackson's been a workhorse out of that backfield tonight when they have run the football consistently. They'll give it to him. They'll let him get some runs, some big yardage, and then start throwing the ball all over the place.
They give it back to Jackson, ran into his own man, and is going to be brought down shy of the first down marker because of that.
Now, I think Benedictine's going to get into a field position ball control game here, trying to run down some clock here in the fourth quarter, knowing how Hartley's offense runs, so they want to take some clock away as much time as possible.
3rd down and 1. And Yarborough just pushing forward. How far did he get? It's going to depend upon the spot. And over on the far side of the field, they have it spotted inside the 30. That'll be a first down.
Well, it was that second effort, third effort, fourth effort that he got, because they stood him up like a straight wall, and everybody thought the play was over, but the quarterback kept going and then just leaned forward and found himself a little slash in there and got that first down.
Looks like they're going to go back to a 2-back set here. Gabriel Batavsky, who had a touchdown earlier, set up there. He is number 24, set up in that fullback spot. Instead, they hand it to the deep man, Jackson, and Jackson still trying to bounce to the outside. No can do, says Daniel Tucson and his teammates.
Yeah, they've really controlled that edge. Linebacker came screaming downhill, which is exactly what you want to do. So you engage that guy on the edge, and then it gives your linebacker an alley to fill. So he shed that fullback and really came through nice.
Sherrod Bowens was that guy that came from that linebacker spot. No gain, 2nd down 10. Yarborough going to take every ounce of time here. Now he fakes the handoff, wants to throw, looks downfield, and has his man, but that man was covered well. Good job by Aiden Turner. Reached right in front of the receiver, knocked that ball away.
Yeah, that was just a straight post, play action post, thinking that the corner's going to bite on it. And the corner was right on the hip, came through on the hip, stayed on him, wrapped the hand around the hip, and came through with the other hand. I tell you what, these kids are well coached here at Hartley. These defensive backs are doing a great job with their technique.
That was Marvin Conkle. He has been the big target tonight for Yarborough. Didn't get him that one. 3rd down and 10. And he wants to throw again. And he does throw. Incomplete.
I'll tell you, this won't show up in the box score or any stats, but Tucson's pressure up the middle forces a short hopper on that. It just forces your arm to kind of shorten up, and then you float it or you can throw it right into the ground. So it's pressure like that. You might not get the sack, you might not get the tackle, but it's stuff like that that makes a difference.
And again, when you look at Daniel Tucson, and you're that quarterback standing there and 6 foot 270 pounds, he gets your attention.
Feed me. That's what he says. Feed me.
Defense takes a timeout, so the Hawks, with 9:06 remaining in the fourth quarter, they take this timeout. It's a 4th down and 10. And as Benedictine came out and lined up to go for it, the Hawks just want to take the timeout, make sure everybody's set, make this play, you get the ball back. And you do it with about 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. And so what the Hawks have to look out for is athletes in space. So Benedictine will probably try to get somebody out in space, let them make a play, shake a tackle, and try to burst for a first down. What you can't afford if you're the Hawks is to get a pass interference on a deep end. So let's see how this chess match unfolds with the two coaches, what plays are going to be called.
And we're about to find out, because here they come to line it up.
I want to see the big fellas up front pin their ears back a little bit and see if they're going to bring it.
Four receivers here for Benedictine. Yarborough, pass, and that is dropped in the hands of Brandon Boyd Jr. And there is a flag on the field. Roughing the passer against Daniel Tucson.
And just when it looked like Hartley was getting the football, looks are deceiving.
Well, let's watch Daniel down here at the bottom. He really bends the corner and goes around. But I don't think the call was on him.
So that penalty will take the ball all the way down to the 15-yard line.
That's one of the things we talked about. With this kind of team, you cannot give away penalties like that.
Now, just gave him a first down deep in your territory. Now they're going to run the ball. Jackson over the right side. Just gets one. But again, gets to work on the clock. Well, moments ago, you were getting the football back. You were getting a chance to drive and get it back to a one-score game. And now the defense gets called for a face mask penalty. That'll be another 15 yards. Well, that'll take it half the distance. And it will be a second down play here.
Yeah, Benedictine is really chewing up yards on just the penalties. And so these are just gifts that keep coming to them.
Yeah, back-to-back mistakes by the Hawks. And the handoff. And again, the defense has it taken care of. Just a gain of one. And that was a first down play, so they'll bring up second down.
And I tell you what, the scheme for today's game plan has been really good as far as the defense is concerned. It's just the penalties. It's killing them. And as any good team out there, Benedictine's taking advantage of it, full advantage.
Yeah, and they will use every second at their disposal here to burn this clock.
I'd give it to the fullback up the middle.
Well, the quarterback just keeps it, and they try to push him ahead, and they do. Get him down to the 2-yard line. Philip Murray Jr. checking in for the Hawks as Donovan Davis comes out for this play. First down and goal. Go back to a I formation here, does Benedictine. Hand it off to the tailback. Looking for room on the right side. They find it. Touchdown.
Yeah, that's a lot to ask of your defense out there. They put a lot of plays in back-to-back holding. But they ran a basic power I off the right-hand side. As just man-on-man, body-on-body, and find a seam.
Dwayne Jackson into the end zone for the Bengals. And now Benedictine to add the extra point, trying to make it a 38-17 game. And that kick is good. That makes it a 3-touchdown advantage here for Benedictine. And Hartley, all you can do, you've got 7:18 left. All you can do is get the ball, drive it down the field, and get it in the end zone.
Yeah, and I tell you what, this has been a really eye-opening and good opportunity for the Hartley Hawks. Usually in Columbus, you just play the teams that are local or in your division. But when you see a different brand of football from that northeast corner of the state, where they play a whole different brand of football, to be exposed to that and to feel that will carry you into the playoffs, so you have a clear understanding, and that's where you start to develop that identity. I really think that this team, Hartley's going to turn it around here in the next few weeks, next few games, because they're starting to get an identity. We saw it that second quarter. I think that second quarter was the marquee moment for us to see what this Hartley team has as potential.
And again, that's what this kind of game on the schedule is supposed to be about for the Hawks. Look, they're not getting penalized. Even if they can't come back and win this game, they're not getting penalized. You're playing a bigger school. They're going out. They're taking on competition. It's going to make them better, and it's still recognized when it comes to the rankings and all those things.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron, and Hartley's always looking for some tough iron to compete against, which is what I like.
That kick will just sail to the end zone. And on the other side, for Benedictine, they put together a good game plan. They've executed that game plan tonight. They've got a quarterback that can throw the football. He's got receivers that can catch the football. They utilize that. They can come back. They go with the running game there. Jackson gets the bulk of the work right there. They've got a balanced team. They've got a balanced offense. And they got some big boys out there on both sides of the ball that are playing well tonight.
They do, and what Benedictine's probably realizing, this isn't a runaway game. So there's some things that they have to work on and clean up, because when they get back up to play their brand of football up north, they're going to have a great team to go up against some other good teams too. So
it is 1st and 10. And Saunders can't find much running room. Well, let's talk about their schedule. Actually, they have an open week next week. And talk about Benedictine. Then they've got Boardman and Brecksville, Broadview Heights. And then they're going to go over to, or they're going to welcome Cathedral Prep from Erie, Pennsylvania. They'll play against Hoban, Nordonia. So yeah, there are challenges ahead, and that's why they put this game on their schedule too.
Oh, yeah. So you got two elite teams that match up well, and this is what the battle is all about.
Handoff. Johnson. Taken down after a short game. One thing that is happening to the Hawks here tonight, and credit the defense for Benedictine for doing this. That run was a great example. Niall Johnson, somebody just gets a hand on him. And in many cases, in some other games, he just shrugs it off. Look, right here. But in this game, it slowed him down almost every time, the way that they've caught him. Even if it's just a glancing blow, it's knocked him off balance or slowed him down enough.
Yeah, so they're a well-coached team, and that's the one thing I noticed, and they're a great tackling team. That's when you know you have a good team, is when they're great tacklers, right? So just one hand, getting in position to make the play.
Underwood wants to throw it up top, and this ball is going to be incomplete. Richard Kenny tried to go up and get it, and he was defended well on that play.
They threw it into a little bit of double coverage there, and the defense were reading his eyes the whole time. And it was a design hitch and go. And I'll tell you what, the DB almost had a Sports Center interception on the sideline there.
He did. Peyton Underwood will punt it. 4th down and 7. Underwood kicks it toward the near sideline. And again, it's another Benedictine bounce that it takes, and down by Thomas Williams at the 47.
And I tell you what, I think his leg is really affected there. We had a play there in the third quarter when he got nicked up pretty good on that leg, and kicking the ball has been kind of a difficult task here.
Well, Benedictine up by 3 touchdowns here. 6:16 left in the fourth quarter. Assuming they'll put the football on the ground here and work on the running game.
Well, it's a little bit of pride moment for the Hartley defense, right? So you don't want to get another 7 hung on you this late in the game. So it's a matter of pride. So now you got to dig down and figure out what do we got left in the tank.
There they go. 1st down and 10. And a handoff. And runner going nowhere that time.
Well, it looks like Benedictine has packed it in. We got a new quarterback in the game, got a new running back in the game. Receivers are still out there.
Lucas Kaltenbach is the new quarterback. He's a freshman. Gets a chance to run the offense. Javion Baker is a tailback. He took that last handoff, and he's been in and out of this game tonight. Andrew McFeeder's made that tackle, by the way. Tackle was a loss of 1, 2nd down and 11. Handoff again. Baker caught from behind by Deshaun Tucker and wrestled to the ground. They say that his forward progress was stopped, so even though the ball comes free, no fumble.
And Tucker did a good job timing that run blitz and got in it and sliced right through that hole.
And you could see he was down before the ball came out. So 3rd down and 12.
Well, let's see if they're going to let the young quarterback go back there and whip that ball around a little bit. He looks like a pretty big kid.
Find out right now. He is 6'2", 180 pounds.
Well, the future's bright for him.
Takes a look over this defense, and the Hawks had it mistimed on the blitz. Deshaun Tucker offsides. Well, it's not the worst play in the world either. You got a freshman quarterback in there. If he's even thinking of trying to throw the football, you want to get on him as quickly as possible, and it was 3rd and 12, so it's 3rd and 7.
Well, you know, anytime you're a linebacker in there licking your chops and you smell fresh meat with a new quarterback in, you know, you want to get at it, and the timing was just off a little bit.
He's got to pitch it to Baker, and Baker's got room. And he's got a 1st down over to the far side of the field, getting inside the 35-yard line to the 33.
And that's what we call the stretch play on that edge. So the problem is if you over-penetrate the stretch, that running back finds a seam right underneath. Look at all of that penetration. The running back finds a seam right underneath it, and then he's gone. So you have to have some discipline in your lanes, or else you run right past the running back.
Alex Ramacone in the game to make the tackle. 1st down and 10. And Kaltenbach waiting, using the time on the play clock, hands it off to Baker, and this time Baker goes nowhere. Deshaun Tucker is there, and he's got help as they take him down. Randall, getting a freshman quarterback into a Friday night game under the lights, you know, most teams don't get the opportunity to do it. Coaches love that opportunity, don't they?
Absolutely, especially when you're on the road. So now you have a hostile environment, freshmen seeing the Friday night lights for the first time, and getting that under your belt. So by the time this kid becomes a sophomore, junior, we're going to hear some big things from him. And it's just that experience to get into game situation, because you can't simulate this in practice.
He brings his team back to the line after a loss of 2.
I want to see the arm on this kid.
Hands it off, and not going anywhere. Julius Robinson, he's a sophomore running back. Didn't have anywhere to go. Loses a couple more yards. 3rd down, 15.
Well, it's a matter of pride. So we're under 3 minutes, and that defensive line is still saying, hey, you know what, we're going to eat. And Daniel showed up and said, you know, I'm going to bite off a little bit of this running back and continue to hold our pride here.
Well, now we're going to get the answer to your question if they'll let this kid throw the ball. I mean, it's 3rd down and just about 15.
Yeah, let's see what the youngin can do. I'm sure his mom is screaming at home, and everybody's happy and excited.
And he hands it off. And again, the defense is there. Deshaun Tucker and Daniel Tucson. Julius Robinson taken down immediately. And there's an injured Hawk on the field. Again, you watch this, how quickly those 2 big men get in there.
When we get that run blitz, and you know they're going to try to run the ball out, I think that's a good key. And this is what you didn't want as Hartley, is to have an injured player, because you want to get out of this game not nicked up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And especially at this point, 2:08 left in the 4th quarter. So Benedictine looking at a 4th down and 19. And they will send the ball away. They come on the road and they get a big win here tonight. They're about to complete a big win and take their record to 4-0.
I'll tell you what, after you get a big win like this on the road, that bus ride home is short and fun.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 hours doesn't seem like 2 hours. You lose a game like this, 2 hours is 4 hours.
Oh, it's 4 hours.
Right?
It's 4 hours.
Nobody talks.
Nobody talks. I remember we went down to the river and played Bel Air down there, and we lost a close one on their homecoming. And that ride back, oh, man. It's like we're driving to California.
Well, good news. The injured Hawks player is up and walking off
That's Alex Ramacone. Ramacone's been a big part of this defense. The biggest thing that he has done to help this team is come in and be able to give Trey Saunders some time off on this defense. Now, you don't get to come in and do that just because Trey needs to take some plays off. You got to be able to make plays yourself, and you've got to be responsible. And Alex has done that. That's why he's been out there as much as he has this year. So it's good to see him get up and walk off the field under his own power.
Yeah, and usually when you see a kid like that comes in and spells another elite player, there's usually like a little dip off, right, in talent. But there's no dip. You don't see a dip in there. So this kid has some good talent in him. So he has a bright future ahead of him. We just got to keep him healthy for the rest of the season.
So Benedictine is lined up to punt. They do restart the clock after the injury. And again, they take every second. Run that clock down as long as they can, and it's a low snap. And picking it up and just trying to punt it away and just sending it right out of play. Christian Cora.
Well, it's the end of the game, and you're seeing something like that happen. As a coach, you hate to see that because the fourth down and punt is the most important play of the game, and you have to execute that every single time, whether you're up by 2 scores or you're up by 1 point. The punt's very important, and as you can see right there, it flipped the field. And we're talking a good 60 yards of flipping the field for the Hawks. So now it falls into favor for Hartley.
It's at the 47-yard line.
And it's a great time for Hartley to work on their 1-minute offense. Put some wrinkles in there and stuff that they can work on.
Brings Saunders in motion and hand it off to Johnson. Picks his way up the middle, goes to the outside. Niles got the first down and will be stopped inside the 35-yard line, the 34. He went out of bounds. One of those things that you're talking about when you're working on this late in the game, late in the half kind of a drive.
Yeah, and that's one of the first running plays all game where he gets to that next level and he can make a move on that safety. That was a great run.
And again, he drags the would-be tackler right out of bounds with him to stop the clock. Underwood pitch it. Near side. Johnson slows it down a bit and trying to turn the corner and wasn't able to do that. He got taken down and making the tackle that time. Terrell Bedingfield Jr. And again, Mike Hatcher was on that play. Mike Hatcher wound up about 6 yards out of bounds into the Hartley sideline. But, again, that guy's been all over the place tonight. He's been noticeable defensively.
Yeah, so tomorrow when they're watching film, we used to call that in film study, that's an off the screener. Yeah. It doesn't fit in the screen anymore, the shot.
That's right. That's where he was, off the screen.
But the guys are still out there, they're competing, they're chippy. You can see them talking to each other. And you want to see that with good teams like this to be competitive.
Ball's on the turf, and Underwood just picks it up and has to take a knee. And that is going to run the clock all the way down for the Hartley Hawks. They dropped to 2-2 on the season after losing here at home to Benedictine tonight. 38-17 is the final score in this game. And Randall, as we talked about, it's not even so much the 2-2 record. It's the fact that the first 4 games are over.
Yeah.
Your test is over. Now, what did you learn out of the first 4 games? That's what you start to see in week 5 when this team goes on the road next week. They're going to play Norwalk on the road next week. What have you learned from the first 4 games? And especially, this is one of those games that I think you might look back to again and again and again throughout the course of the season to say, here's how we handled it then, here's how we handle it now.
Yeah, especially when you go against great teams. As the season moves on, you're going to get into some playoffs or maybe some other teams that you're going to play. Turnovers. You have to get that cleaned up. You can't have turnovers. And the other part is just the mental fatigue, jumping off sides, penalties. So those are all the fundamentals that you have to get back to and work on, the concentration. And I tell you what, it's a 38-17 game, but it was a little bit closer than what the score indicates. You had a pick 6 that you dropped. that could have narrowed the game down a little bit. You're down here at what was it, 3rd and forever, and you get a roughing the passer, where now it would have been a 1-score game if you had the pick 6 on top of it. So they had opportunities. You missed a receiver down here in the end zone. You had to settle for 3. So they were in the game.
Right.
It's all these little things that you have to clean up and start executing at a high level if you want to be that elite team.
Yeah, and when you talk about that, could have been a pick 6 for Deontay Hubbard, and not to lay it on him here because he makes a good play, but it's not even so much that, hey, you didn't get those 6 points. It's about where you were in the game, where the momentum was in that game. That would have been a real shock to the system for Benedictine if he's able to grab that football and take it down the sideline for a touchdown, just the way the flow of the game was going at that point.
Absolutely, and that was probably a good thing to happen to that young man because now he knows come next week or the week after, the ball's in the air, it's mine, pick 6 going the other way. So he's going to have that experience and know how to react to the ball when it comes his way. But until you get into the situation, you cannot simulate this stuff in practice. So having that kind of game film where now you can say, okay, if I jump on it half a second earlier, if I have my head turned the right way, it's all of these things that you work on. That's why you have the film study, to make you a better human being, a better player.
And we did see good things in this game tonight. Not just running the football, but I thought, again, Peyton Underwood takes another step as a quarterback with some of the, as you described it, his patience tonight, the way he hung in on plays. Even when he had a guy charging him, he completes a couple of passes, big one to the back of the end zone to Anthony Murphy as the first half is about to expire. This is a kid that's getting better and better week after week, and he's got good targets to throw to.
Absolutely, and as athletic as that front for Benedictine was, and that defensive end that they had, Johnson screaming off that edge, I really thought that offensive line did a good job giving that young quarterback some time. He got pressured a couple times, but for the most part, he had plenty of time to sit back there. So I think offensively, they're going to start tweaking that scheme and getting that pass game involved a little bit more to get that edge, get the athletes out in space, and get that speed going. So that offensive line is doing a pretty good job on their pro set and their pass set. The running game is what it is. You're going to always come to Hartley, and they're always going to run the ball, and you're going to have great run blocking that's happening. But I'm really impressed by that front line and the job that they're doing there.
Well, for all the Benedictine fans up in Cleveland that have been with us here tonight, thank you very much. We appreciate having you. Best of luck to the Bengals the rest of the year. They leave here with a 4-0 record after putting together a very good football game, good solid talent there. And for the Hartley Hawks, as we said, they're on the road next week. When they come back here to Jack Ryan Field, there's going to be a lot of energy here. There's going to be a lot on the line because they'll be taking on the Stallions of St. Francis de Sales, a team they lost to last year, Randall, not once, not twice, but 3 times, including a playoff game in what was an NFL-style season last year during COVID. So they've been waiting a long time to get back at that team, and in 2 weeks they have the chance on this field.
Well, and, you know, it's like Hartley has really built this up to get this dominance over the Sales. It's like Michigan, Ohio State. You win one, you win one, you win one. So now you're on a streak. So you have the streak going for 3 consecutive years. Then it all gets wiped out in 1 year.
Yeah, right.
So now the whole thing is knotted back up again. So we get a chance to start the streak all over again. But it's a bummer that it all gets knotted, it just gets wiped out in 1 year.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. But, hey, I want to tell you, nobody would know you're a rookie at this. Nobody would know unless I told them. You're first-timer here tonight.
Hey, I'm a first-timer, long-time listener.
Right. But you did an absolutely fantastic job. Love to have you back anytime. It was fun here today.
Absolutely. I'll be back for that. I do believe that the Sales and St. Charles.
All right. Absolutely. So that's Randall Sampson joining me here tonight. Once again, the Hawks lose to Benedictine. 38-17, the final score here at Jack Ryan Field. The Hawks are now 2-2 as they move on to what undoubtedly is going to be an easier schedule. They started with 4 very tough games, and starting next week, we find out what they learned from those 4 tough games to get it going. Once again, for Randall Sampson, I'm Bob McElligott saying good night from Bishop Hartley. Again, the final score, Benedictine 38 and Bishop Hartley 17. You've been watching Hartley Hawks football.
Today's game is being brought to you by the Ohio Media School. Find out how you can become involved in radio and TV production at beonair.com/Columbus. By the Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation, who have established and run the Porter Athletic League. By Hutta and Price Orthodontics. Find them on the web at lovethatsmile.net. And by Brick League Apparel. Check out their amazing styles at wearebrick.com.